The catastrophe is coming. I took my whole family to cultivate immortality. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126 World Concern. Woohooer didn't say anything more in the end. The best result, of course, is that Qin Feng can go to Kyoto to sit in person. It's just that the Qin family has done enough, and Qin Feng didn't mean to not show up, so it's not easy to care about it. Miss Qin, I will trouble you more, Qin said in response. Mr. Wu, you're welcome. The Qin family is from China. This is what we should do. Qin Heo thought about it for a while and was a little worried. We've all left. What should we do in the village? After all, the sect master is still in retreat. If the village is invaded by alien beasts, even if it is not serious, it is estimated that the sect master will be disturbed. Qin Wen nodded in agreement. Yeah, it's better to keep one person who is more suitable to stay. Qin had a headache. There were only 3 of the immortal cultivators in the village. It seemed that none of them would be appropriate. Most importantly, Woohooer had already taken a huge risk and made a compromise. If the 3 of them could not immediately support Kyoto, it would be too unreasonable. Woohooer said, I immediately contacted the troops and asked people to guard the periphery of the village so that the village would not be disturbed as much as possible. It's useless. There is really an invasion of alien beasts. Without immortal cultivators, no amount of fighters will be able to intercept them. Qin Wen speaks very straight, although the words are very unpleasant, but Woohooer still can't refute. When a few people were entangled and helpless, a sweet and firm voice sounded, you can go at ease, and I'm still here. Looking at the voice, I found that the person who spoke was Yan Xiao, who was all over the country. Qin's eyes lit up. Yes, she forgot that. Although Yan Xiao was not from the Qin family, she was also a cultivator. Yan Xiao's pretty face was very firm, and she said again, I know that my strength is not as good as yours. Even if I go to Kyoto, I can't help you. However, I can stay and do my best to ensure that Qin Feng will not be disturbed. Qin did not hesitate anymore and immediately responded. After all, Yan Xiao was the best candidate now. If there is really a big problem in the village, wouldn't it be possible to notify Qin Feng in time? Okay, Yao, I'll leave it to you here. You're half the Qin family anyway. Qin Wen widened his eyes and blurted out, Sister Zhu, what you said is a bit sturdy. It seems to acknowledge Miss Yan's identity. Yan Xiao's pretty face blushed slightly, and she naturally knew what the 2 of them meant. Qin waved his hand. You talk too much. Don't pay attention to those details. Anyway, I like Yao very much. Sooner or later, he will belong to our Qin family. It's a big deal. Don't talk nonsense. Let's rush to Kyoto right now, Qin. Heoksu didn't say much and followed Qin out. Qin Wen muttered subconsciously, Sister Zhu, it's useless for you to like it. It's useless until Brother Feng likes it. Hey, what are you kicking me for? You talk too much. Hurry up and leave, Qin. Zhu glared at Qin Wen and kicked in dissatisfaction. Then the 3 of them left in a hurry. Yan Xiao exhorted, Sister Zhu, pay attention to safety. Don't worry, we will be fine. The Qin family will be fine, and Huaxia will be fine. As soon as the words fell, Qin and the other 3 had already stood up against the wind and rushed towards the Huaxia capital without the slightest hesitation. At this time, the internet has already been fried. From the beginning, the official did not deliberately hide the news as the capital of China. Once there is a bit of trouble, it will definitely pay attention to the whole country. Grass, those alien beasts are going crazy. This time they are coming to Kyoto. Brothers, why do you feel like a capital defense war? Kyoto is too important, but there must be nothing wrong. Believe in Huaxia. Believe in Kyoto. Nothing will happen. The immortal cultivator of the Qin family must have arrived. Right, that's a must. Don't forget that it is the capital, let alone the immortal cultivator of the Qin family. Qin Feng, the head of the Qin family and the sect master, must also be in charge of himself. Wow, I can meet my invincible husband again. Qin Feng, Qin Feng, I love you like a mouse loves rice, shameless. Upstairs, Qin Feng is obviously my husband. Okay, it's about this time again. Qin Feng is my husband. Everyone, draw your swords. I will decide the outcome with you today. Discussions on the internet are in full swing. In fact, at this time, a lot of foreign attention has been focused on Huaxia Kyoto Point. Back then, the United States was invaded by alien beasts, and the losses were extremely heavy. Even the White Palace, which represented extraordinary significance, suffered huge damage, which can be described as a loss of face. Now, it is finally the turn of Huaxia Kyoto to face the crisis. What the final result will be, in a certain sense, will have extraordinary significance. It's over. It's over. Huaxia Kyoto is in crisis. What's wrong with you? China's capital is in crisis, and it has nothing to do with our big stick country. Let's care more about ourselves. The alien beasts haven't dispersed yet. Recently, we have suffered heavy losses. I don't know how many people died. Not sober? Huaxia Kyoto is in crisis, and the immortals of the Qin family will definitely appear, which means that there is no time to take care of us. HMPH. I don't think the Huaxia Qin family wants to help us. It's better to let them fall hard this time, shouldn't Huaxia ask our country for help? Looking at the battle, this invasion of alien beasts must be ferocious. No matter how powerful the Qin family is, what's the use? Don't fantasize. It's impossible for Huaxia to ask us for help. To be honest, there are no people who naively think that our country really has high-tech weapons that can deal with alien beasts, right? Our country has suffered heavy losses recently, and there are no so-called high-tech weapons at all. I hope Huaxia Kyoto will hold on. If even Huaxia's immortal cultivators are defeated, then there is really no hope. Everyone is waiting to be destroyed by alien beasts. People on the internet usually don't hide their true thoughts. Some people will viciously hope that Huaxia Kyoto will also suffer huge damage. That feeling is that I'm already miserable, and someone must be worse than me happy. There are also some people who have a bigger pattern, or in other words, they have become invisible fans of the Qin family's immortal cultivators, hope that the Qin family can win. Otherwise, as the comments say, there is no hope at all. At this moment, Huaxia Kyoto can be said to be watched by the whole world. However, the situation is more dangerous than expected. At the beginning, more than 20 vortexes of the Sea of Clouds appeared in all directions, but as time passed, more and more vortices of the Sea of Clouds continued to form. According to the current forecast, there will soon be more than 100 cloud sea vortices, which means that there will likely be hundreds of gaps. At that time, once the alien beasts start to invade, it will definitely overwhelm the sky. Chapter 127 Sinner. The dark clouds in the sky continued to condense and continued to press down. People above high-rise buildings seemed to be able to reach the clouds with their hands. The vortex of the Sea of Clouds continued to rotate and spread, and the feeling of oppression made people faintly feel breathless. The only good news is that the Sea of Clouds and vortices are all around the capital of Huaxia, and they do not continue to be in the city. This is already considered to be a blessing to China. Otherwise, even if the immortal cultivators of the Qin family are powerful, it is impossible to guarantee. The whole city was not damaged at all. A large number of troops have been assembled long ago to take precautions. The fighters of the special forces have come one after another, and the mysterious department, where Wu Hualang is located, has also been dispatched long ago. As the Sea of Clouds continued to increase, everyone's faces became more and more solemn. Where's Qin Feng? Qin Feng hasn't come yet. Qin Feng is retreating? What time is it? Under such circumstances, Qin Feng is still in retreat. Shouldn't he come to Kyoto? Although the Qin family members came one after another, they did not see Qin Feng's figure, and some people's hearts were not at ease. Everyone is no stranger to the huge damage caused by the invasion of alien beasts. When people in Kyoto look up at the sky, their expressions are extremely unnatural. Some people are hesitating whether to flee or not. However, this is the capital of China. If you can't be safe when alien beasts invade, then even if you escape to other places today and temporarily escape the catastrophe, in the long run, what's the point? Only a very small number of people choose to leave at this time. Of course, there is bound to be panic, and some people are even praying to God and worshipping Buddha, hoping that disaster will not come. Boom, boom. In the sky, a dull sound began to come. This time, everyone's faces changed wildly, and some people couldn't help sobbing. Other disasters, there are buffers, but the invasion of alien beasts, for ordinary people, there is no way to avoid the past. The more you think about it, the more uneasy you will be. Qin Zu, Qin Wen and Qin Haoxu have arrived one after another. Taking a deep breath, Qin Zu suddenly drew his sword. Chuck. The child and mother swords came out of their sheaths and followed, making a humming sound like a phoenix ming, and it spread out for more than 10 miles. Ordinary people who heard the humming of the long sword felt somewhat calmer in their hearts, knowing that the immortal cultivators from the Qin family must be arriving one after another, while the other immortal cultivators from the Qin family, who had arrived in the capital long ago, were hearing the long sword's voice point after the buzzing. Knowing that Qin was Qin Zu, he started to rush to the place where the buzzing came from point soon. When someone looked up at the sky, they saw hundreds of immortal cultivators from the Qin family rising up from the wind and rushing to where Qin Zu was. I used to want to see this kind of scene. Maybe it was only a fantasy, but now, when it happened in front of everyone's eyes, it would definitely feel an unprecedented sense of shock spreading. Look, that's the immortal cultivator of the Qin family. Rising from the wind, dashing and elegant, the immortal cultivators of the Qin family are here, and they have fought against alien beasts several times. I believe that this time, they can also ensure the safety of the capital. We will be saved. God bless China. God bless the Qin family. Don't panic. At least, someone will fight for us to the end. At this time, it is necessary to maintain confidence, and not to cause trouble. Qin Zu's original purpose was the same. When facing the increasingly oppressive dark cloud, everyone inevitably panics. If it continues, it will not necessarily cause any kind of riot. If all the immortal cultivators of the Qin family show up, they can do it without saying anything. Give those people confidence and at least make sure that there won't be any riots and other problems at this time. There will naturally be no shortage of live broadcasters on the internet. The good news is that the country did not intend to block the news. Otherwise, no matter how powerful the anchor is, it is impossible to spread the situation here. When the current situation in Kyoto and the live broadcast appeared on the internet, various comments have long been lively. Grass, those alien beasts are not over. And how is it possible? Don't you understand? This is the legendary doomsday coming. How can it be easily passed? That is, thanks to the immortals of the Qin family. Otherwise, we would have to lie down long ago. God bless me China. God bless Kyoto. Kyoto. Hold on. Huaxia, hold on. The Qin family is holding on. At this time, only the Qin family has the trust to dare to go retrograde on the sky, waiting for the arrival of alien beasts, and fight to the death. After many years, if the disaster can pass, the Qin family will definitely be able to occupy a great place in history, and the Qin family is also worth remembering by all of us. It's too early to say this. Haven't you seen it? The sea of clouds in the sky. This time, I don't know how many alien beasts will appear, let alone whether there will be unimaginably powerful monsters and alien beasts. Qin family immortal, can you really do it? Is there any other better way than trusting the immortals of the Qin family? Where's Qin Feng? Why haven't I seen Qin Feng sect master? As soon as this comment appeared, everyone stopped discussing other issues and asked in unison, why did Qin Feng not appear? Some anchors explained there, from the beginning to the end, I haven't seen sect master Qin. Perhaps he has come a long time ago, but he hasn't appeared in front of the public yet. The capital of Huaxia is in danger, and it is impossible for Qin Feng not to appear. Let's cheer for Kyoto and China together. Various discussions started again, and then an explosive news began to spread. Important news. Important news. It is said that sect master Qin Feng is in retreat because of an important matter, and he did not appear in Kyoto. I mean, is it true or false? I absolutely don't believe it. That's our capital in China. Sect master Qin didn't show up because he was in seclusion. Well, it's okay if nothing happens. Isn't Qin Feng afraid that if something happens, he will become a sinner in Huaxia? Qin Feng's shelf is a bit too big, isn't it? Don't come here, you are arguing. Didn't you all say that Sect Master Qin has something important? It must be extremely important, otherwise, how could it not appear? Although some people tried to explain it, everyone felt that it was inconceivable or incomprehensible. You must know that the importance of Kyoto to Huaxia is self-evident. In this case, Qin Feng does not appear, which always makes people feel a little uncomfortable. Not only the people on the internet, but the immortal cultivators of the Qin family. After hearing Qinzu say that Qin Feng has not been notified yet, some people suddenly changed their faces. Qin Hongfu's expression was the most complicated, and finally he couldn't help but say, Qinzu, I know that the sect master's retreat this time is of great significance, but now that the capital is in danger, and looking at the vortex of the sea of clouds, the situation may be unusual. Being regarded as a sinner in China, my Qin family will also be spurned by thousands of people. Point is this price, too big for us to bear. Chapter 128. After Qin Hongfu finished speaking, the immortal cultivators of the Qin family became a little dignified. As the capital of China, there is indeed no room for failure. What Qin Hongfu said was not an exaggeration. Do you want to notify the sect master? Perhaps I should let you know. Some clansmen became hesitant. They were not quite the same. It was the first time they participated in a fierce battle with alien beasts. Qinzu took a deep breath and said slowly, everyone remember what Qin Feng said. What are we going to face? Qin Wen didn't quite understand the meaning of Qinzu's question, but, out of his mind, he still blurted out, we have to face the doomsday, and we have to face the invasion of all races and beasts. Yes. Qinzu nodded, with a calmer tone, the invasion of alien beasts is just the beginning. In the future, there will be more, and more dangers waiting for us. Could it be, that Qin Feng must be involved in everything? Now, do we dare to do it? It is true that the current problems are more difficult, but there will be more crises to face in the future. Now that Qin Feng can solve it, what about the future? When we embark on the road of immortality, we should understand that not everything will rely on Qin Feng. Otherwise, no matter how powerful my brother Qin Feng is, there are times when he can't take care of it. What should I do at that moment? Should I just lie down and expect a miracle? Everyone fell silent, thinking about Qinzu's words. Indeed, you can't rely on Qin Feng for everything. That will only make people invisible, creating a kind of dependence, even inertia. Qin Haoxu spoke up. Sister Qinzu is right. Doomsday is coming, and all races and beasts are invading. I don't know how many cards the opponent has yet to play, and our only trump card is the sect master. Is it possible that the sect master will do everything by himself? Qin Hongbo exhaled, and his expression became very firm. Sometimes, it is not because there is hope that we persevere, but because we persevere, we can see hope. All of us need to grow, not just rely on it. Yes, the brave who meet on a narrow road wins. They take the road of cultivating immortals, and what they cultivate is slaughtering magic skills. I have fear in my heart. The road in the future is destined to not last long. If you want to fight, fight happily. I believe we can do it. The sect master is in retreat, so don't bother for the time being. My Qin family members, there are no cowards. I must not lose face to the sect master. Fight bloody to the end, and die. Blood battle to the end. Death will not turn your heels. In the excitement of the crowd, they shouted loudly. For a time, the loud shouts of hundreds of people competed with the rumbling in the sky. Those people in Kyoto had been in a deep panic because of the huge rumbling sound. At this time, when they heard the words blood battle to the end, death will not turn their heels, their instinctive hearts were relieved a lot. The battle hasn't started yet, and the Qin family won't retreat, so what's there to be afraid of? Believe in the immortals of the Qin family. God bless the Qin family, God bless the capital, and God bless China. Come on Qin family, come on Qin family. Countless people began to shout spontaneously, and for a while, the trance was a continuous wave, one after another. At this moment, the immortal cultivators of the Qin family seemed to have a strange resonance bridge with the masses. Everyone does not feel lonely, but is full of enthusiasm. Qinzu pointed his sword to the sky, and his tone was decisive. That's the decision. For the time being, there is no need to inform Qin Feng. We will fight to the end. No one in the Qin family still has opinions. At least before the war, they have reached a high degree of unity in their thinking. Boom, click, in. The dark clouds, or thunderbolt, exploded in a trance point. The wind was turbulent, and the rotation speed of hundreds of vortexes in the sea of clouds was getting faster and faster. For a time, it seemed that the whole earth trembled. Point in the prosperous capital of Kyoto, the streets are rarely deserted at this time. Although most people have confidence in the Qin family, they instinctively hide in places they think are safe before danger comes. Those troops who were assembled and ready to fight at any time looked very simple, without any fear. This is a Chinese soldier, but now, the Qin family is not afraid. As a Chinese soldier who should stand in the front, how can they be afraid? Crack, in the sky, there was a huge noise again, and then, the blood-colored rays of light skyrocketed wildly, and hundreds of vortexes in the sea of clouds already had cracks visible to the naked eye. Gradually, the blood-colored light completely rendered the dark clouds in the sky blood-colored. Point. It seems that in the bloody sky, there is incomparable depression and fear. The Qin family followed Qinzu and rose from the wind, guarding in all directions, with no fear on their faces. The discussion on the internet is unprecedentedly high. Blood stained the sky. This is not a good sign. To be honest, even though there are immortals from the Qin family, I always panic in my heart, and I always feel that this time is no trivial matter. Isn't that nonsense? Hundreds of vortexes in the sea of clouds, can they be ordinary? Fortunately, we have immortals from the Qin family. Similarly, unfortunately, so far, we only have immortals from the Qin family, who can resist the invasion of alien beasts. Everyone in the Qin family, stand up straight. They now represent the unyielding backbone of Huaxia. The Qin family, hold on. Come on, Qin family, hold on. No one was going to discuss other issues anymore, and they all started to swipe the screen to cheer on the immortal cultivators of the Qin family. Crack, crack. The crackling sound in the dark clouds is getting louder and louder, and the blood red light is like a strange lightning, which continues to stir. Now, not only the dark clouds in the sky, but also the earth, are rendered with a layer of demons, different colors, bus, all kinds of strange roars sounded, and soon, in the crack formed by the vortex of the sea of clouds, there were various monsters with huge bodies and extremely ferocious appearances. There are both familiar beasts, such as Pixiu, giant wolf, unicorn lion, cyan tiger-shaped beast, and some strange beasts that have never been seen before, with pointed mouth and fangs, and some strange beasts that resemble monkeys. There are also rat-like alien beasts, and more other alien beast groups, constantly charging over. For a while, it is too late to distinguish what form they are. The door to hell opens in a trance, and the group of demons dances wildly. Qinzu's delicate face showed no fear. The long sword hummed, and Qinzu's voice sounded awe-inspiring. The Qin family, fight in blood to the end, and die without turning your heels. Even with the roars of various beasts, Qinzu's unyielding roar could not be suppressed. Blood battle to the end, death will not turn your heels. The immortal cultivators of the Qin family responded in succession, and followed, without the slightest fear, facing the fierce beasts. At this moment, in the Huaxia capital, the Chinese nationals watching the live broadcast on the internet, I don't know how many people are infected by the decisive momentum. Their blood is boiling, and their eyes are full of tears. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129, The Blood Moon Reappears. The immortal cultivators of the Qin family were able to suppress the speed when the scattered impact met the alien beast. Point. At this time, the commanders of the combat troops distributed around the capital of Huaxia began to issue orders one after another. All of them: fire, open, fire, hit me hard, and give the most support to the immortal cultivators of the Qin family. Fire, fire, smash that bunch of chops, beast, Huaxias. Battle is not right. Guns are fired in unison. Bullets, cannonballs, and other large-scale weapons are really unusable. First, even if it is used, it basically has no major effect. Second, if the surrounding of Huaxia Kyoto is baptized by large weapons, the reconstruction work in the later stage will be unimaginable. Da. Da da. Boom. Boom. Firearms and cannonballs continue to impact and fall into the crowd of alien beasts. At the same time, armed fighter jets take off one after another, basically without aiming, and the ammunition is bombarding those aliens beasts. It looked and sounded very lively. In fact, it did not cause any substantial damage to those alien beasts at all. In the original battle plan, it was to study the eyes of attacking alien beasts. No matter how strong the body's defense is, the eyes should not be able to withstand it. The problem is that those alien beasts are extremely fast, and they are very flexible, so they can't attack at all. The fighters on the armed helicopter also wanted to attack at close range point at this moment. A gigantic unicorn tiger-shaped beast charged up and leaped high, but instead, it was more like a cannonball that destroyed everything and slammed into the helicopter directly. Dodge quickly. Although I have tried to avoid it, the explosive power of the alien beast is too terrifying. The speed at this time is beyond expectations, and it is about to be hit and killed. Critical moment. Buzzing. The child and mother swords came out of the sky, and they appeared again. Die, Qin. Zu's cold and angry shouts echoed in the air. PFFT. The huge unicorn tiger-shaped beast, before he could react, was instantly cut in half by the morale-like sword point. The ink-colored blood was surging, accompanied by the sloping internal organs, which seemed to make people feel both terrifying and mixed with a kind of happy and relieving emotions. Go back, go back. Qin Zu rose from the wind, like a 9-day fairy, constantly motioning the armed fighter jets to leave the battle. At this time, she couldn't help, and if she stayed, she would just lose her life in vain. The combat personnel on the helicopter gave Qin Zu a standard military salute, and then chose to return home and withdraw from the battle. It's not that they don't work hard, but that there is really no way to face these alien beasts. Unfortunately, we still can't help more immortals of the Qin family. For the first time, I felt unsatisfactory. Now, I can only rely on the immortals of the Qin family. The armed helicopters, including the fighters on the ground, began to retreat in an orderly manner. At this time, in the sky and the ground, only the immortals of the Qin family were left to enter the group of alien beasts. The number of alien beasts is more than expected. Looking around, densely packed, hundreds of immortal cultivators from the Qin family are distributed in all directions, constantly rushing to kill, trying their best to ensure that those alien beasts cannot break through the defense line and endanger the Huaxia Kyoto in the rear. Bring the wine. Give him. How can the god of wine be without wine? Let's donate a bottle each and let the backers have a good time. On the internet, netizens who were following the war left messages one after another. Qin Wen drank 2 bottles of high quality liquor in a row, and there was no drunkenness in his eyes, but a burning fighting intent. Kill. The sword key is vertical and horizontal, and the sword shadow is stirred up. Qin Wen rushed from left to right in the group of alien beasts, as if entering a land of no one. The wailing of the beast continued to sound. Qin Zu and Qin Wen's actions were just a microcosm of the immortal cultivators and the Qin family. Now, when it's really time to go all out, all the immortals of the Qin family are going all out, without the slightest reservation. The number of alien beasts is extremely large, but the immortal cultivators of the Qin family who are distributed in all directions are like sea-fixing needles, blocking all those alien beasts, unable to advance even half a step. Blood battle to the end. Death will not turn your heels. Qin Zu shouted angrily from time to time, and other immortal practitioners in the Qin family would continue to respond and shout loudly. One is to improve morale, and another is that Qin Zu can judge whether the clansmen who are fighting in all directions have encountered danger through the response at any time. The fierce battle lasted for more than 10 minutes, and the Qin family members were so angry that they began to kill. The personnel of the combat troops watched with enthusiasm, and there were also commanders who constantly observed the battle situation through binoculars and made a rough count. The number of alien beasts killed by the Qin family during this fierce battle should have been in the tens of thousands. Think about it. Feel terrifying. This time, the immortal cultivators of the Qin family showed their brilliance. Not only was the whole country shocked, but the people all over the world, who were paying attention to this fierce battle, were shocked beyond description. The Immortal Qin family, yides, what? A slap in the face. I'm wet. Grass. My eyes are wet. I'm so excited. Kneel down and kowtow to the fighting immortals of the Qin family. Without them, there is really no hope at all. I have no regrets in my life to enter China. The immortals of the Qin family are invincible and have no regrets in entering China in this life. Whenever a disaster strikes, it is often more able to stimulate cohesion. At this time, various comments on the internet is extremely harmonious, either lamenting the power of the Qin family's immortal cultivators, or they are constantly cheering. The invasion of the alien beast group was completely blocked, and at this time, it could be described as a heavy loss. Crack, boom, pow, in the sky, there was a series of abnormal noises that shook the sky and the earth. The blood red light skyrocketed again, and the feeling of being suppressed to the extreme began to spread madly and visibly. The sky filled by the blood colored sea of clouds seemed to be broken open with a bang. The entire light began to dim, and all those who were paying attention to the war changed their faces wildly. This feeling is a bit familiar. Back then, in Haidao City, there was a huge monster evil Jiao that blocked the light. At that time, it was difficult for the 4 immortal cultivators of the Qin family to win. Qin Feng showed up and turned the corner. Now, does it mean that there will be huge monsters and beasts? While thinking about things in my heart, half of the capital of China seems to have fallen into darkness, and it is difficult to reach out and see the 5 fingers faintly. 2 blood moons appeared in the sky. Grass, monsters, and beasts really appeared. Isn't it rare that sect master Qin hasn't shown up yet? Something's going to happen. F****. K. Is something wrong? The faces of many people in Kyoto changed wildly. They found that the appearance of 2 blood moons was just the beginning. Then, 6 blood moons appeared on the sky. Everyone knows that it is the huge eyes of alien beasts. Now it seems that this time it is not a monster, at least 4, not to mention those ordinary people. Even the immortal cultivators of the Qin family who are fighting, all became serious. Chapter 130 continued fierce battle. When a terrifying aura of monsters and beasts appeared in the sky over Huaxia capital, Yan Xiao, who had been paying attention to the situation over there, suddenly stood up. At this moment, Yan Xiao hesitated in her heart. Should she remind Qin Feng to give up the retreat? You must know that the last time in Haidao City, if Qin Feng didn't appear in time, the Qin family's immortal cultivators would definitely suffer a big loss. This time, the invasion of alien beasts was obviously more ferocious than the last time. Yan Xiao, who was staring at the phone, was a little restless. She was still waiting for Qinzu to give her a message before making her final decision. Qinzu, who has been fighting in the Huaxia capital, has already seen clearly that there are indeed 4 monster-level alien beasts above the sky. One of them is very familiar. It is the crocodile that appeared in Haidao City at the beginning. It has scales all over its body and is extremely powerful in defense. Qinzu has experienced it. The alien beast on the left looks like a giant python. It is black and has unique scales. Its body is so large that it is boundless. It is suspended in the dark clouds. It is more than tens of meters long. It is estimated that the overall length is more than 100 meters. Back then, Wu Hualong, who encountered the snow python in Changbei Mountain, had been following the battle. When he saw the black giant python monster, his face changed wildly. At this time, 1,000th of the monsters and beasts at the same time, Wu Hualong unconsciously had an inference in his heart. Could it be that the snow python in Changbei Mountain was changed because of the influence of the black giant python, and it was extremely ferocious? The third huge monster and beast, its limbs are like 4 pillars. It has the outline of an elephant, but it has a huge unicorn point in its huge mouth. There are 4 tusks that exceed 2 meters in the cold light. Just looking at the momentum, it is like a small mountain which may collapse and cover it at any time. The last monster and beast is even more bizarre. It can be said that it has never been seen before. Its body is close to a square. In that way, it looks like a huge grinding disc standing above the sky with a long mouth. When it is opened, it is densely black. teeth are disgusting to look at. Point at this time, the comments on the internet have become pessimistic. My god, is this difficult for us in China? 4 terrifying monsters came at one time. The immortal Qin family, can you stop it? Why doesn't Sect Master Qin show up? Is the so-called retreat so important? Speaking of a fight, now, even if Sect Master Qin Feng came and faced 4 monsters and beasts at one time, is there really a chance of winning? The comments gradually became rare. It was obvious that everyone felt heavy in their hearts and considered silently, can the immortals of the Qin family be able to resist? Qin Zu was extraordinarily decisive and said one after another, Qin Wen, Qin Ya, stop the crocodile. Yes, Qin Wen and Qin Ya did not hesitate, and after responding, they rushed to the crocodile. Qin Yu, Qin Xiao, Qin Yachan, stop the strange python coming. The 3 of them responded one after another and rushed towards the strange python without hesitation. Qin Heoxu, follow me to stop the 4 dislikes. No problem. Qin Heoxu squinted his eyes, and his expression was still fierce. The people Qin Zu arranged were all the 7 guardians that Qin Feng had appointed at the beginning. Several of them were younger, more talented, and naturally stronger in combat. However, there was still one monster left, and Qin Zu had some reasons in his heart. Among the 7 elders, all of them are older, and their overall strength may not be comparable to those of the guardians. At that time, Qin Feng was placed in the position of an elder because of his seniority and age. Point now, who is to be turned against? After a slight hesitation, Qin's father Qin Hongbo said, Zua, leave the last monster and beast to me and your mother. Don't worry, the 2 of us are fine. Wu Zhu nodded without any hesitation and said, how careful you have to be, my dad and I can do it. Qin Zu knew the reason why it was chaotic when it was broken, and nodded, be careful. At the most dangerous time, as Qin Feng's immediate family, and he decided not to disturb Qin Feng in the retreat, he had to charge forward. Qin Zu was about to shoot, but Qin Yangshao killed him and said loudly, Zua, our 3 brothers cooperate with Qin Heo to stop the 4 dislikes. You are commanding from it now. It is not suitable for taking risks. Uncle, okay, that's it. As long as we can stop it, we will try our best to stop it, and buy enough time for the sect master. Even if we die, we will be willing. Qin Yangshao and the other 3 brothers always felt that Qin Feng was a little bit sorry for Qin Yanghe's affairs. Without giving Qin Zudo a chance to speak, the 3 brothers cooperated with Qin Heoxu and rushed forward. Moo, a strange roar resounded through the sky. Several people and monsters and beasts have rushed together. The immortal of the Qin family did not back down. Immortals of the Qin family are still working hard, and we have no reason to despair. Across the sea, Fang shows his true character as a hero. The Qin family members are worthy of the pride of China. The Qin family is here, and I'm here in Huaxia. The slaughter is still going on, and it is indeed much more difficult to face monsters and beasts, but the immortal cultivators of the Qin family have not slackened a bit since the last incident in Heidao City, and they are all catching up and improving their strength. Recently, the effect is obvious, at least temporarily experienced a huge test. Even if the monsters and beasts cannot be seriously injured, with mutual cooperation, those monsters and beasts can also break through the defense line. Qin Zu had already become a brick at this time. Wherever it needs to be moved, once the Qin family's immortal cultivators are in danger, they will provide timely support. All the members of the Qin family are still fighting bravely. At this time, there was a strange sound of humming in the vortex of the sea of clouds in the sky. At this moment, Qin Zu's heart instinctively tightened. After becoming a cultivator, her 6th sense became sharper than ordinary people, reminding Qin Zu that something was wrong. With a cold expression, Qin Zu immediately reminded loudly, everyone be careful, something is wrong. The voice just fell, and in the vortex of the sea of clouds, the humming sound became more and more intense. Then, Wu Yang, the size of an adult head, covered with spikes, with weird lines, and some strange beasts like poisonous bees appeared, overwhelming the sky, and the number was extremely large, and instantly attacked the immortal cultivators of the Qin family. Qin Xiao, who was fighting to the death of the black monster, just dodged the fatal attack of the monster, but the poisonous bee rushed directly to her face. For a while, she couldn't avoid it. Qin tried to rescue her, but she was also surrounded by poisonous bees. Chapter 131 Blood stained the sky. Qin Xiao's eyes widened in an instant, and she suddenly drew out her sword. However, seeing the poisonous stinger about to stab between the eyebrows, it was very likely the result of losing both. At the critical moment, Qin punched with his right hand, blocking the black python's swept tail, and then slashed towards the poisonous bee with his left hand pointing like a knife. Under the power, the fingers faintly hummed, and the speed was extremely fast. Laugh. The poisonous bee was cut in half. Qin Xiao breathed a sigh of relief and blurted out, "Thank you, brother you." Qin opened his mouth to answer, but without warning. PFFT. A mouthful of blood spurted out, blood staining the sky. "Brother. You. Qin. You." Several shouts sounded, all showing a sense of urgency. You must know that the Qin family has always been united. Moreover, after becoming immortal cultivators over the years, they usually discuss each other, improve their strength, and get along day and night, and the relationship is even more harmonious. At this time, Qin was suddenly injured, and everyone must feel uncomfortable. After Qin vomited blood, most of the strength contained in his body dissipated in a trance, and he was able to stop the impact of the giant python just now. At this time, Qin finally retreated from the poisonous bee that was attacked by the sand. Lightning rushed in, blocking the subsequent attack of the black monster. Qin reached out to catch Qin and fed him the next 2 pills one after another. Qin's face was still pale, and his breath was better than before. He tried his best to say, "Be careful of the poisonous bees. No, don't touch them. Kill them with immortal soldiers. Just." Now, in order to save Qin Xiao, Qin pointed to a sword and slammed to death. At that moment, the thorn of the poisonous bee also stabbed his finger, and the sharpness was much stronger than expected. Qin's own strength is not weak. The defense is even more powerful, and it has not been able to block the stings of the poisonous bees. Then, the feeling of numbness rushed to my heart. Danshan, I couldn't help but feel cold. My spiritual energy was drawn out at an extreme speed. Most of my strength dissipated, and I almost died. Suppresses the onset of toxins. After several fierce battles with alien beasts, some members of the Qin family were still injured. Unexpectedly, it was Qin whom Qin Feng was very optimistic about, who was injured. The main reason was that the situation was urgent at the time, and Qin was somewhat careless. He didn't expect that the poisonous bee, which is much smaller than other exotic beasts, could be so poisonous. The other Qin family members were awe-inspiring, and they were even more careful when dealing with poisonous bees. It's just that the battle has been fierce for more than half an hour at this time. The immortal cultivators of the Qin family have relatively weak clansmen. They have just started to resist the alien beasts. It is not a big problem. Be careful. Qin I just reminded me, but unfortunately there was still no time. Qin could only watch the clan member Qin. When avoiding the poisonous bee, he was smashed into the air by the alien beast. No matter how strong the body defense is, it is extremely uncomfortable to encounter a heavy blow at this time. When Qin was in the air, blood spurted out of his mouth. Then, 2 more screams came out, and 2 Qin family members were stabbed by the stings of the poisonous bee, and injured one after another, and basically lost their combat effectiveness. Thanks to the fact that some of the clan members have awakened their talent for refining medicine pills recently. Before coming to Kyoto, they brought a lot of medicine pills with them. After they were injured, they took them immediately to relieve part of the injury. Otherwise, some people would have died on the spot. Qin was both heartbroken and angry, and shouted loudly, "Kill me, kill me." Qin bucked the trend and shouted angrily, "Die." An incomparably tyrannical force erupted, and behind him, a strange beast of the mountains and seas, Fang, appeared. At this moment, Qin strength broke through the peak state. Fangshan Huaji contained vast strength, and successively impacted 4 different beasts. Bang bang bang. Although the monsters and beasts could not be directly destroyed by Fangshan Huaji, they retreated again and again under the impact of the vast force. Qin Hongfu gritted his lower teeth and rushed over. "Heogsu, here are some of our brothers. You can help Qin Haeogsu did not hesitate, but he stepped back. Now that the monsters and beasts he was in charge of were suppressed, he could free up his hands to help Kinzu and other clansmen within his power. Most importantly, Kinheogsu spent most of his experience in intercepting poisonous bees superior. If the poisonous bee swarm breaks through the defense line and rushes into the Huaxia capital, it will not only be those who are fighting wrongly on the outside, but will suffer heavy casualties. I'm afraid that the people of Kyoto will usher in an unimaginable number of deaths. Kinheogsu constantly stimulated the aura of Dunshin, and his shot was so fast that it was dazzling. The members of the combat troops had a stern look. The closest they were, they saw the most intuitive situation. The strange poisonous bees could hurt the immortals of the Qin family, and even make a few immortals of the Qin family lose their combat effectiveness in an instant. If ordinary people are attacked, they will definitely die immediately. There are more and more comments on the web. Things aren't quite right. The immortals of the Qin family are injured. That's a life and death fight. How could it be safe and sound? The immortals of the Qin family are immortal cultivators, but they are human beings, not gods. The situation has become dangerous. Those alien beasts are too abhorrent. Can no one help the immortals of the Qin family? How to help? If you really let the personnel of the combat unit rush up, it will not help, but will become a mess. Okay, there are more and more poisonous bees, and it is impossible to kill them completely. What should I do with this? Everyone's hearts seemed to be suppressed by something, and they became more and more worried. At this moment, a strange and incomparable sound resounded again in the sky above the sea of clouds in the capital of China. Then, in the vortex of the sea of clouds, there was a tiger-shaped beast with a body of more than 10 meters and a snow-white body with blood-red eyes. Although the body was smaller than the monster, the sense of depression and pressure it gave people was not weak at all. What was even more unexpected was that on the back of the white tiger strange beast, sitting on the back of an ape-shaped strange beast, suddenly opened his eyes, and it looked a bit like a human being holding a stick with a pale red light in his hand. The white tiger slammed into the immortal cultivator of the Qin family, and the strange stick grasped by the ape-shaped beast swept across with a shrill sound. At that moment, many people discovered that the eyes of the ape-shaped beast had a very human-like ruthless existence, just like the eyes of people when they were angry. A cultivator of the Qin family resisted with a long knife in his hand. Without the slightest carelessness, he used all his strength. The weird stick collided with the long knife. Dang woo. A very strange sound came. The white tiger and the ape-shaped beast continued to charge forward without being affected in the slightest. The immortal cultivator from the Qin family retreated more than 10 meters back one after another. After forcing to stand still, there was blood on the corner of his mouth. Exuded. His arms were numb. He couldn't lift it for a while, and he could barely hold the long knife in his hand. The immortal cultivators of the Qin family have a dignified expression, but they didn't expect that the house leak happened in the middle of the night. And suddenly such a strange thing appeared. Chapter 132. The crisis is about to break out. The strange ape riding on the white tiger continued to charge, waving the sticks one after another. For a while, 3 immortal cultivators of the Qin family were injured, and they were unable to completely resist them. Kinheogsu, as the most talented being, was forced to give up his trembling with the swarm of poisonous bees, and took the initiative to meet the monster. In the roar of anger, the Fangshan halberd in Kinheogsu's hand smashed down with a bang. Under the impact of the vast force, the surrounding wind blades swayed, and the entire force was like a mountain topping the top. Kinheogsu's expression was a little awe-inspiring. I don't know if it was an illusion. He actually saw a very humanized disdain in the eyes of the strange ape. It's too late. It's too soon. Dang woo. Fangshan halberd slammed into the strange stick point under the impact of the tyrannical force. The strange ape sat on the back of the white tiger and beast, motionless. Kinheogsu took 3 steps back in a row to stabilize his body. Kinzu's expression changed, and the ape's strength exceeded expectations. Huge monsters and beasts are also very powerful, and their defenses are extremely strong. However, the attack methods of those monsters and beasts are still traceable. Generally, they do not exceed the scope of alien beasts. They are nothing more than sprinting, biting, and at most the tail point charged attack point. The strange ape in front of him has an extremely unusual attacking ability and defense, which is beyond the category of ordinary beasts. Countless people who saw this scene looked shocked and kept commenting on the internet, "My god, what is this? Why do I feel that the ape, yes, has a similar feeling to us? It's fine, absolutely fine. The situation is getting worse and worse. I'm starting to wonder now, can the immortals of the Qin family really resolve this crisis?" Not only domestic netizens are discussing, but other people in the world who are paying attention to this war are also discussing it on their own national online platforms. Huaxia is really lucky to have the immortals of the Qin family. Fortunately, it is also unfortunate. Because of the immortals of the Qin family, Huaxia encountered the largest invasion of alien beasts this time, and, looking at the level of those monsters, they are getting more and more fierce. At least Huaxia is still resolutely resisting. What about our country? It has already accepted its fate. I don't know how many innocent people die every day. If the immortals of China can't resist the invasion of alien beasts, maybe we should really think about that terrifying thing. Could it be that our human destiny is coming to an end? It's hanging. I really think that the capital of China will not be able to hold on this time. Basically, there is no ridicule in sight. To put it bluntly, everyone is worried about the future, and it seems that there is no hope in sight. Qin Heoxu was still trying his best to fight against the strange ape at this time. What people didn't expect was that the strange ape's attack was very well organized and vague, as if it had a unique move point others may not fully understand. But Qin Heoxu at this time is getting more and more frightened. Every time he collided with all his strength, Qin Heoxu was backed by a strong spiritual energy, but the strength radiated by the strange ape was not weak at all. What does this mean? That is, the strange ape must also contain extraordinary power in its body. Qin Heoxu has unconsciously sounded the reminder and warning from Qin Feng. The invasion of alien beasts is just the beginning. After that, there may be alien beasts with similar thinking as humans, or other life forms, creatures, and invade the entire blue planet. At this time, the terrifying strength displayed by the strange ape, as well as the meaning of representation, makes people ponder and fear. At the beginning, he was able to fight against each other strongly. The further he went to the back, the greater the consumption of Qin Heoxu, and he was completely suppressed by the monster. Qinzu couldn't even help Qin Heo to learn now. The overwhelming swarm of poisonous bees was still thinking about breaking through the defense line and attacking the Huaxia Jingdu, which had been guarding behind him. The pressure is increasing. Destroy. Qinzu's body was lifted into the air at a very high speed and then spun away. The mother-child sword in her hand was spinning at the same speed as Qinzu's body. Countless sword shadows stirred, followed by countless sword flowers, attacking strongly. Although those poisonous bees have strong melee attacks, their defensive capabilities are much weaker than other exotic beasts, and they were shot down by Jianying, Jianqi, and Jianhua one after another. Ahem. The white tiger and strange beast made a huge roar, and its body was slammed with extreme speed. The tyrannical force locked on Qin Heoxu, and the strange stick in Wei Yuan's hand swept fiercely, revealing a force that destroyed everything. Qin Heoxu suddenly stood still. At this time, he could not retreat. If he retreats, there will be other Qin family members who have been fighting. Except for Qin Heoxu, maybe no one can barely block the attack of the strange ape now. Kill. The spiritual energy in Qin Heoxu's body roamed at a very high speed and reached its peak state. The Fangshianhua halberd in his hand suddenly became heavier than the mountains in a trance, and he resolutely met the stick held by the strange ape. Many people on the internet have been following Qin Heoxu's fight, and at this time, they subconsciously commented, "This is too fierce. The legendary rebirth of Lu Bu is just like this, right? Qin Heoxu, yides, below. Qin Feng, the most powerful immortal of the Qin family, Qin Heoxu hold on, in the size of everyone." The strange stick and Fangshianhua collided fiercely. The influence of Bi Fang behind Qin Heoxu has never been so majestic as it is now. Boom. The ground on which Qin Heoxu was standing cracked, which was enough to show how terrifying the burst of power was. An unexpected thing happened. A muffled groan sounded. Qin Heogsu's body, like a broken kite, fell backwards. His face was extremely pale, and a mouthful of blood had already poured into his throat. Qin Heogsu tried his best to stabilize his body, and his strength swallowed the blood again. The white tiger, the strange beast and the strange ape remained motionless in Wei Yuan's eyes. There was disdain and indifference. Qin Heogsu was a little out of power, and he felt an unprecedented sense of powerlessness in his heart. Whether he admitted it or not, Qin Heogsu knew very well that he was really not Wei Yuan's opponent, and he even thought about it now. It is impossible to fight reluctantly. The next moment, the strange ape did not chase after Qin Heogsu and killed him, and the strange stick pointed to the sky. The white tiger, a strange beast, roared loudly, followed by the appearance of nearly transparent wings on its ribs, and instantly rose into the wind. To be honest, during the fierce battle just now, Qin Heogsu didn't even notice the nearly transparent wings of the white tiger. The speed is astonishingly fast, and the target of the white tiger and the strange beast is Qinzu, who is trying his best to block the poisonous bee swarm. Qin Heogsu is almost exhausted, and the other guardians and elders are still dealing with their own monsters and beasts. At this time, no one can stop them. Once Qinzu has an accident, the poisonous bees will inevitably ravage the Chinese capital, and the real crisis is obviously coming. Chapter 133 Just right. Those peripheral combat troops have been paying attention to the entire battle situation. When the strange ape appeared, it was obvious that the momentum was not right. At this time, seeing that the strange ape was unstoppable, lightning struck Qinzu, and a commander decisively ordered, "Sniper." As soon as the voice fell, 3 gunshots came one after another, showing the shape of the character. The bullet with great destructive power is shot, and the monster is locked. The strange ape who continued to charge forward didn't care about the bullets that were attacking at all. The strange stick he was holding swept across. Dang. Woo. It almost condensed into a strange sound, and all 3 bullets were shot into the air. The snipers who shot couldn't help but gasp. To be honest, I never thought in my life that bullets would be avoided in this way. Much great. The faces of the fighters are unpredictable. At this time, even if they have all the strength, they are useless, and can no longer help. There is an anchor who chooses an excellent angle to clearly record the scene that just happened. The comments were flying right away. I must have read it wrong. There's something wrong with my eyes. This is out of the question. It's over. It's really over now. Fairy. Qinzu is dangerous. No matter how you swipe the screen on the internet, Qinzu will definitely not see those reminders. Of course, Qinzu at this time has actually felt the crisis and is facing an extremely difficult choice. If you give up blocking the poisonous bee, then soon, the poisonous bee will definitely break through the defense line and rush into the guarded Huaxia Kyoto. At that time, even if you face the strange ape, you may not be able to fight. However, if he didn't give up blocking, and the strange ape rode on a white tiger and beast, charging fiercely, Qinzu's chance of surviving was almost zero. All the immortal cultivators of the Qin family were helpless on their faces. It seems that the tragic result has been doomed. If there is one person who can change this result, it is Qin Feng. At this moment, the immortal cultivators of the Qin family are already regretting it. Qin Feng should have been notified of this matter long ago, mainly because the price to be paid after the failure of defending Huaxia capital is too heavy. At the critical moment, there was a clear whistling sound, piercing the sky like a dragon's roar, fast as white lightning, approaching extremely fast from the southeast. Where the white lightning passed, those alien beasts that were roaring suddenly stopped without any signs. Their huge bodies suddenly stopped. After the white lightning had evacuated and passed by, the bodies of those alien beasts burst open one after another, and for a while, ink-colored blood splashed. Qin Heogsu's injuries were not minor, but he was much better than Qinyu and the others. At least, he was not invaded by the poisonous bee venom. Metropolitan. In other people's hearts, they have already instinctively thought that with this speed and such strength, apart from Qin Feng, there is no other person in the world. When too many people didn't have the time to react, and a huge collision sounded in the sky. The monstrous apes and white tigers and beasts who were aggressively attacking Qinzu stopped completely, and what was blocked in front of them was a long sword, faintly spreading the sword energy of more than 3,000 miles. Besides Qin Feng, Who else can hold the sword? From far to near, a sword lifted Qinzu's crisis, and then Qin Feng flipped his wrist. The Long Yin sword lived up to its name, brought the sound of Long Yin, and the sword energy broke through the sky. At this moment, it seemed as if the dark clouds above Qin Feng were split open by a sword, and swiftly attacked the strange ape riding a white tiger. He squinted his eyes very humanely, and the strange stick held by the strange ape, from bottom to top, showed a tendency to raise fire to the sky. Dang. Woo. A strange sound rang out, and the dragon Yin sword and the strange stick collided with full force for the second time. Qin Feng's body didn't move at all, only the clothes stretched out in the wind, while the monstrous ape and the white tiger and beast he was riding retreated a meter or two back. Since the appearance of the strange ape, several immortal practitioners of the Qin family have been injured in a row, and Qin Haoxu was almost exhausted by fighting head-on. He even used a dreamlike and tough technique to knock down the incoming sniper bullets just now. He was forced to retreat by the first head-to-head confrontation. It is good. Qin Feng's appearance is actually not short. At this time, the combat troops guarding around the capital of Huaxia seemed to have just woken up and shouted loudly. There was a brief stagnation on the internet just now. Obviously, they were all shocked by Qin Feng, so shocked that they forgot to type and speak. F***K. F***K. How can there be no culture? One word goes all over the world. Sect. Master Qin is back, invincible against the world. The eternal god of Sect Master Qin. When Sect Master Qin comes out, who will compete with him? Countless people began to make crazy comments, and their hearts were full of excitement. No wonder they were all excited. Just now, the immortals of the Qin family were suppressed one after another, and even injured. Everyone understood the importance of Huaxia Kyoto. It was like a stone was pressed in their hearts. Today China is going to follow in the footsteps of other countries, and it will be completely cool. Who knew that Qin Feng's arrival was just right at this critical moment? Time is also fate. It's not that Qin Feng wanted to do this on purpose, but everything just arrived at this moment. Of course, Qin Feng didn't think too much about other things at this time, and the Long Iron sword appeared again, and swept away with a bang. At this time, those who watched the battle discovered the essential difference between Qin Feng's shot and Qin's immortal shot. The immortals of the Qin family are indeed very powerful. In the face of fierce alien beasts, they are unstoppable and unstoppable, which makes people feel admiration from the heart. However, as soon as Qin Feng made his move, those who looked at him would unconsciously have a feeling of adoration and adoration. Who is strong or weak? It takes a lot to think about. At this moment, there was a very humanized and solemn look in the eyes of the strange ape. The menacing white tiger and beast roared loudly, as if driving the surrounding wind, and the tyrannical force rushed towards Qin Feng. The stick held by the strange ape slanted upward, and the whole shot was slow and fast, and it collided with the dragon Yin sword precisely. The overall strength completely broke through a peak state. Dang. Woo. In the sky, there was a huge sound again. Following, the strange apes and white tigers and beasts who tried their best, like history repeating itself, were forced to retreat a meter or two again, while Qin Feng, moral was like a rainbow, still motionless. The expression on his face was so indifferent. There was a little more light in everyone's eyes involuntarily. Qin Feng only appeared for about a minute, but the situation has been turned around. Even if the final victory has not yet been won, everyone's hearts are inexplicably calm. Chapter 134, Fire into the Nine Heavens. Under the combined force of the strange ape and the white tiger, they were forced back by Qin Feng twice in succession, with a fierce look in their eyes. Bow. The moment he opened his mouth, there was a long whistling sound that cut through the sky. At this moment, the strange ape who entered a state of rage seems to have doubled in size, and his momentum has risen again. At the same time, those strange and ferocious swarms of poisonous bees, as if they had been summoned by a strange ape, gave up and attacked Qinzu one after another, and attacked Qin Feng like lightning. At an astonishingly fast speed. Qinzu didn't expect things to suddenly turn into this. She was stunned. She couldn't stop it in time, so she could only remind loudly, Qin Feng, be careful. After the poisonous bee attracted Qin Feng's attention, the strange ape resolutely rode the white tiger beast and rushed towards Qin Feng. There was a whistling sound, and the strange stick swept across the 8 wastes at an extremely fast speed, and there was a faint sound of wind and thunder. You must know that under the full force of the ape, it can knock down bullets, which is enough to show the horror of Jin force. At this time, it is scary to think about it, not to mention that there are those poisonous bees harassing Qin Feng. Comments on the internet skyrocketed in an instant. B******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* martial arts. It's playing yin. It's too vicious. Sect Master Qin won't have an accident, right? Don't panic everyone. We have to trust Sect Master Qin said. It was too late, but it was soon. The overwhelming poisonous bees attacked Qin Feng like a wave, with a terrifying momentum. Qin Feng, who had a handsome face, remained calm and calm. Around the body, an incomparably tyrannical golden light skyrocketed, and Qin Feng's entire momentum rose rapidly. At this moment, everyone realized that when the monster just made a move, he did not do his best. Similarly, Qin Feng did not show his peak strength. What's even more incredible is that the outliers that appear on Qin Feng's body are just the beginning. The golden light gradually turned into a colorful color, and in a short moment, it rushed to the sky. The trance is just a blink of an eye. The sky is rendered into a strange blood-red cloud, completely wrapped in the colorful rays of light, and it is extraordinarily brilliant, making the sky over the Huaxia Kyoto at this time look like a dream. Fire. Qin Feng uttered 2 words in a slow voice. It seemed that he was speaking casually, but those 2 words made the combat troops outside Huaxia Jinggu hear clearly. The same sounded in the ears. The surrounding temperature began to rise in an instant, and then, the dragon Yin sword in Qin Feng's hand pointed angrily at the sky. There was a fire dragon that suddenly appeared on the ground, attached to the dragon Yin sword. The immortal cultivators of the Qin family are all too familiar with this kind of fire. It is Qin Feng's tyrannical aura, which forcibly attracted the supreme fire. In the past, it was used to create immortal weapons and furnaces, but this time, it seems to be dealing with alien beasts. The fire soared into the sky, and under the guidance of the dragon Yin sword, many people had an illusion, as if it was the rebirth of the fire dragon in ancient legends, followed by a wave-like group of poisonous bees and beasts. But, the sound of the bees and beasts flapping their wings kept ringing, but at this time, they did not dare to attack Qin Feng so unscrupulously, looking like he wanted to escape. Unfortunately, everything is too late. The fire entered Jiahangshan and spread rapidly with a wind. In just a few blinks of an eye, the other immortal cultivators of the Qin family will completely devour the poisonous bee colony that has suffered enough and burn it clean. The strange ape's eyes became more and more angry, and the white tiger and the beast once again vibrated its invisible wings and accelerated the impact. The strange stick fell from the sky, and the momentum was not enough to describe the pressure of Mount Te. Qin Feng looked at it coldly, not avoiding, not flashing, not retreating. Break. Following Qin Feng's loud drink, the dragon Yin sword made a huge buzzing sound again, like a roaring roar from a spreading fire dragon. With one sword light, the 19 continents are cold, and the sword energy is 30,000 miles across. The third time, Lang Iron sword and the black stick held by the monster slammed into each other. The tyrannical force collided, and between the heavens and the earth, there was a trance-like energy wave hitting the surrounding. The various alien beasts at close range were strangled by the powerful force before they could react. The other immortal cultivators of the Qin family have already retreated at a very high speed. They are very clear that with their own strength, it is difficult to resist this level of collision. In the final analysis, the gap between them and Qin Feng is still too great. Dang. Woo. Crack. After the strange sound, a clear broken sound came. The third collision completely determined the fate of the 2 weapons. Refined and perfected Lang Iron sword. Go forward. Cut off the strange stick. The sword key did not stop because of the ape's obstruction and continued to move forward against the trend, and then swept over the left wing of the white tiger and strange beast. Ahum. A tragic roar sounded, and the left wing of the white tiger beast was smashed by the sword energy of the dragon Yin sword point. The wings on both sides suddenly suffered heavy damage, and the white tiger beast couldn't stabilize its huge body at all, and fell directly downward point. At this time, the strange ape did not have any mercy, and suddenly stepped on the younger generation of the white tiger, borrowing strength to smash it. He got up, and rushed towards Qin Feng. It seemed that when the ape was still unwilling to fail. Although the stick was destroyed, it opened its mouth and bit Qin Feng's neck. Moreover, after borrowing strength, the speed was astonishingly fast. Boom. After the white tiger and alien beast became a springboard, it could not stabilize its huge body even more, and slammed on the ground fiercely. The powerful impact formed a Xiangkang-like existence with a radius of about 10 meters. Of course, looking at the appearance, no matter how strong the defense of the white tiger beast is, the hope of surviving is extremely slim. That dog thing is desperately trying. Sect. Master Qin, be careful. Sect. Master Qin is the last hope of the whole village. Bullshit. The current sect Master Qin is the capital of China, the hope of our entire China, and we must hold on. In terms of pessimism, I think that what the current sect Master Qin shoulders is the last hope for the entire human race. If he can't stand up, the backbone of the entire human race will collapse. Amidst the tumultuous comments, the ape had already rushed to Qin Feng. Until this moment, Qin Feng had no intention of retreating, but the humming sound of the Langayan sword once again pierced through the field control, and under the vertical and horizontal sword energy, it appeared again and again. The tyrannical force broke out, and the tyrannical force carried by the dragon Yin sword was really like the impact of the dragon, showing the momentum of going forward and destroying everything. The strange ape's eyes are fierce. At this time, it can choose to retreat and avoid the edge of Long Yinjian, but without any hesitation, it charges forward again, and the speed is getting faster and faster. It looks like it is going to die together with Qin Feng. The exclamations of many people have already sounded, including the immortal cultivators of the Qin family. You must know that after the death of the monster, the other side's alien beasts are still overwhelming, and once Qin Feng has an accident, it is equivalent to the strongest trump card, and it is completely over. Chapter 135 Absolutely Unexpected Things. The strange ape is fighting for his life, and the speed of saving is naturally extremely fast. It's just that Qin Feng is faster. PFFT. Long Yinjian first stabbed the monster between the eyebrows. To be honest, the angle of the shot and the position of the final hit are too incredible, like an antelope hanging on its horns, leaving no trace. The most important point is that, even though the ape has a tyrannical and unparalleled defensive ability, after being hit by the Imperial soldiers, it is completely like stabbing into tofu. Unexpectedly, the blood spattered by the strange ape was not the dark green blood of alien beasts, but the same bright red color as normal people. The shrill mourning sounded, making people feel a little terrifying. Qin Feng never showed mercy. His wrist continued to exert force, and the dragon Yin sword completely pierced through the entire head of the strange ape. Now, let alone the strange ape, even if Daluo Jingxin descended to the world, he would definitely not be able to bear it. After suffering a fatal injury, the strange ape's entire body had become stagnant except for howling, and the plan of fighting with Qin Feng to die with Qin Feng was naturally completely unsuccessful. It is good. The personnel of the combat troops have been baptized by the discipline of the troops all the year round. Relatively speaking, the mood fluctuations are not large, but this is the second time today, and they can't help but shout loudly. Mainly, since Qin Feng appeared, the whole performance has been too dazzling. There were also some fighters who applauded unconsciously. It was very clear in my heart that those strange apes and white tigers were definitely a serious concern to their confidants. Not long ago, the poisonous bee swarm with extremely strong attack power was burnt down by the supreme fire. Everything Qin Feng has done has reached the extreme. You really can't ask Qin Feng to do better. Newbie, I'm kneeling. All kneel down and kowtow to Sect Master Qin. I've been kneeling until my back is sore. It's amazing and shocking. Sect Master Qin. Yides. Who dares to refute? Who am I fighting for? God bless China. We still have the immortals of the Qin family and the invincible Sect Master Qin. I have no regrets in my life to enter China. The Internet is frantically swiping again, and some people are so excited behind the screen of their mobile phones that their voices are hoarse. Point of course, it is not just many netizens in Huaxia who have this kind of reaction. Point from the beginning of the Huaxia Kyoto defense battle, the eyes of countless people from all countries in the world have been focused on this place point, even if there is no complete victory at this time. The overall situation has been set, and the internet of other countries is full of all kinds of admiration and envy. How strong is that man? Is he still human? I once suspected that God just changed his appearance. Mummy, stop praying, come and see God. Gosh, I don't know what to say. The shocking battle between the Huaxia capital and the alien beasts means that the backbone of our human beings has not yet bent. I'm so envious of Huaxia. How much luck did you have to accumulate to have the Qin family, sect master Qin Feng? I don't know what those big bosses are still thinking and hesitating. People in our country are still being madly ravaged by alien beasts. Shouldn't they ask Huaxia for help immediately? In addition to asking Huaxia for help, is there a better way? Huaxia will rise from now on, and unstoppable. Asking Huaxia for help is the last and safest way to save countless lives. It's not ashamed to ask for help. While countless people were expressing various opinions in high spirits, Qin Feng was still rising in the wind in the periphery of Huaxia Kyoto, dashing and elegant. Just as he was about to draw out the dragon yin sword, something that no one thought of happened. Point when the ape was on the verge of death, there was a very humane viciousness in his eyes, and he opened his mouth. You will perish. The faces of everyone present changed wildly. Qin Feng, who has always been calm, has a hint of surprise on his handsome face. No one would have thought that the strange ape at this time would actually utter human words. Shocked to the extreme, beyond everyone's cognition. Although Qin Heoxu thought at the beginning that the strange ape must have a thinking close to that of a human being, so that there are so many human-like changes in his eyes, but when the strange ape finally spit out human words, Qin Heoxu couldn't help but blurt out F***K. On the internet, especially Chinese netizens who can understand this sentence, the comments are completely crazy. Who can tell me, did I hear it wrong just now? So, that thing is talking about people. I am really not dreaming. This, could it be said that the monster not only possesses the wisdom of human beings, but also learned the language of human beings in a short period of time? Got the earth. This matter is very scary. Many people have already thought that when the physical condition is better and the more powerful alien beasts not only have the way of thinking of human beings, but also can learn to speak human beings. More importantly, this is only the primary stage of alien beast invasion. Just such an incredible thing happened. Who knows what will happen in the future? Did something more unexpected happen? The more you think about it, the easier it is to get chills down your spine. Relatively speaking, the immortal cultivators of the Qin family who had been reminded by Qin Feng long ago reacted calmly. Qin Feng's complexion quickly returned to normal. There is still a difference between a dream and a wishful thinking. Don't say you are going to die. Even if you live, you will never see that day. At the moment, when the voice fell, Qin Feng didn't hesitate anymore. He turned his wrist and pulled it out. Blood splattered. The ape was completely strangled, and the corpse fell heavily on the ground. The other immortal cultivators of the Qin family were still fighting and had no time to think about other issues. Qin Feng seemed to have done a normal thing, standing up against the wind. His figure was so fast that ordinary people couldn't see it clearly. Ow! The shrill screams sounded one after another. In midair, the four monsters and beasts that gave people a great sense of oppression showed obvious unwillingness at this time. Obviously, those monsters and beasts looked ferocious, but there was still a gap compared to the monsters. At this time, Qin Feng was afraid. When we meet on a narrow road, the brave wins. When fighting for life and death, the more afraid of failure, the more complete the failure will be, and the more afraid of death, the faster we will die. Between heaven and earth, the trance was filled with dragon roars for a moment, which made people feel extremely shocking. As Qin Feng's body passed by at a high speed, the huge monster, the alien beast, the crocodile, suddenly stagnated. The next moment, Qin Feng was already running towards the black python. Crap, chuckle, the Huge monster, the alien beast, the crocodile, the body burst open, and the dead can no longer die. The monster level beasts that can only be stopped by a few immortal cultivators in the Qin family, in Qin Feng's hands, can't even hold a single move. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136, Have You Won? Since Qin Feng made his move, he would never leave any trouble, and he was targeting those monster level alien beasts. One by one, the 4 big monsters and beasts all exploded in the sky, and they died without a place to be buried. As for those small alien beasts, trying to stop Qin Feng is simply wishful thinking. Most of them are similar to ordinary people watching, and they can't see Qin Feng's overall action. At this time, with Qin Feng's shot, the other immortal cultivators in the Qin family naturally boosted their morale, and tried their best to kill. The whole situation was completely turned over, and the wailing of alien beasts resounded in the surroundings of Huaxia Kyoto. Those who were worried to hide in a safe place came out one after another, and the expressions on their faces were completely stretched out. Happy. The Qin family is invincible. The Qin family is invincible. God bless China. God bless the Qin family. Countless people began to shout spontaneously, and some people who were not good at words were often infected by this emotion, and unconsciously they would shout together. Of course, there are some people who think more. This time, the battle to defend the capital must have been won. However, the shock caused by that peculiar ape, or to be more precise, the hidden danger is too great. Victory? Perhaps looking at the present, it is a victory point at least. Those alien beasts around the capital have lost the courage to continue to attack. Under the constant killing of the immortal cultivators of the Qin family, they began to retreat wildly, and escape point Qinzu pointed his sword into the distance and shouted loudly, "If you don't chase at this time, when will you wait? Kill. Kill." The imposing Qin family's immortal cultivator followed Qinzu, and continued to chase and kill. Qin Feng has already stopped. For the rest of the battle, if he does not participate in the battle, it is not a big problem. Moreover, he will not stop him from chasing and killing. It will be a little bit smaller at this time. Qin Feng had already begun to check the bodies of several injured clansmen. Qin Haoxu was fighting against the monster, and his internal organs were shaken. However, he had already taken Jiaozuan Huchin pill and Guohuan pill, and the overall problem was not big. After a day or two of cultivation, it should be fine. There will not be any major problems with the other clan cultivators who were slammed by the brute force of the alien beasts. The real trouble is Kinyu's family members who were stung by poisonous bees. At this time, Kinyu's face was very pale, and his eyes were blue and black, and he looked dull, and his body sometimes shivered involuntarily. Obviously, toxins could not be forced out of the body through spiritual energy, and the existing medicinal herbs, although suppressing toxins, cannot completely resolve them. Qin Xiaoyu asked anxiously, "Sect Master, how is brother Yu?" At that time, Kinyu was stung by a poisonous bee. In order to save Qin Xiaoyu would naturally feel anxious and guilty. Qin Feng pondered and said, "There is no problem with life for the time being, but it is a little troublesome to remove the toxin. After the Kyoto affair is over, I will think of a way when that time comes." Kinyu Qiang smiled and said, "Everyone, let it go, just rest assured. I'm fine. Besides, the sect master will find a way himself, and I'll be fine." Qin Xiaoyu couldn't feel relieved at all. In her impression, no matter what problems the clans encountered, as long as they found Qin Feng, there would be a solution. This was the first time that Qin Feng was a little hesitant and serious when he spoke, and there is no specific way to point it out. This shows that it should be very troublesome to remove the poisonous wasp's toxin. Of course, it's useless to be impatient. Now, all that can be done is to believe that Qin Feng will create miracles again. While Qin Feng was busy checking the injuries of the clan, Qinzu had already led people to completely defeat the alien beast. More and more alien beasts can't care about counterattack. They just want to quickly escape back to the vortex of the Sea of Clouds. Wu Hualong came in a hurry at this time, and when he looked at Qin Feng, his face was very excited. Sect. Master Qin, thanks to your timely arrival, you not only saved the capital, but also the entire China. Mr. Wu, don't exaggerate. What I do is what I should do. Sect. Master Qin, I came here to express my gratitude to you in person, and also, someone wants to see you. Who? Wu Hualong didn't say it clearly, he just pointed to the center of Kyoto. Qin Feng instantly understood in his heart that he was probably a big boss who wanted to see himself in person. After pondering, Qin Feng nodded and was about to agree. After all, some meetings are a matter of time, and with the full support and cooperation of the bosses above, in the face of follow-up crisis, they can deal with it more calmly. Who knows? Qin Feng suddenly frowned and looked towards Qinzu and the others. More and more alien beasts rushed into the vortex of the Sea of Clouds. What people did not expect was that those vortexes in the Sea of Clouds were circulating at an extreme speed, and new changes had taken place. Point after the vortex expands, it keeps merging together. It seems that half of the sky is full of cloud vortexes. Qinzu led the immortal cultivators of the Qin family and kept rushing to kill. At this time, he was already a little bit higher, and he was about to chase after the huge vortex of the Sea of Clouds. Qin Feng decisively said, all Qin family members, withdraw. When he spoke, he couldn't feel his voice hoarse, but these words, like a dull thunder, exploded in the ears of the immortal cultivators of the Qin family. Everyone looked stunned and stopped subconsciously. Don't forget, Qin Feng is like a god in the hearts of the Qin family, and all the people will instinctively obey what he says. Qinzu had also stopped. Although he didn't quite understand why did his brother Qin Feng now order to give up and continue to chase and kill, but he took his clan to retreat point according to the previous experience of alien beast invasion. As the alien beast retreats to the Sea of Clouds, it will begin to dissipate and disappear. Qinzu thought maybe the younger brother was worried that the clan would be swallowed up by the disappearing cloud sea vortex, so he would let him retreat. Point who would have thought this time is different. The growing cloud sea vortex shows no signs of dissipating. Although there are no other exotic beasts, they have always existed above the sky. More importantly, when Qin Feng was talking to Wu Hualong just now, he vaguely sensed a powerful and terrifying aura spreading behind the vortex of the Sea of Clouds. The next moment, something even more unexpected happened. The huge cloud sea vortex in the sky not only has not disappeared, but is moving towards the southeast at an extreme speed, like a big shift. Qin Feng felt more and more that something was wrong. His face became a little dignified, and he said decisively, Mr. Wu, you also saw that things are not right. I can't go to see the people above with you now. I have to follow up and see. I always feel that something bigger is going to happen. Chapter 137th Going to the Real Place. Wu Hualong is not someone who can't tell the difference between the serious and the serious. His face is solemn, and he immediately speaks. Sect Master Qin, don't worry about the above, I'll explain it to you. It's more important to get busy first. However, the speed of the Sea of Clouds moving too fast. Even if you want to chase it, it's a bit difficult, right? In general, I can still lock the whereabouts of the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, and it's not a big problem to follow it. That's fine. Wu Hualong knew very well in his heart that the hunger crisis in the capital of Huaxia must be resolved now. But if the huge vortex of the Sea of Clouds stays another citizen China without the immortals of the Qin family, there will definitely be serious problems. Qinzu rushed over at this time, her expression a little complicated. Sect Master, it's my fault. I didn't inform you earlier. Under normal circumstances, Qinzu seldom called Qin Feng this way. After all, the two were also siblings. Qin Feng pondered and said, it's not entirely your fault, but under the circumstances at the time, you did have the responsibility for inaccurate judgment. Fortunately, it didn't cause more serious things, so let's keep your identity as East Special Envoy for the time being. If you make mistakes next time, there is nothing to talk about. I see. Qin Feng could feel the speed of the huge Sea of Clouds moving faster and faster. He didn't have time to say more, but simply explained, take care of the injured clansmen, others repair them in place, and listen to my news at any time. Clear, everyone. responded and knew that the matter was not over yet. If the huge ocean vortex stayed above other cities and another beast appeared, it might be another earth-shattering fight. Qin Feng was already up against the wind, and in the blink of an eye, he disappeared, and no one could see the specific appearance of Qin Feng's departure. Afterwards, some people from above came in a hurry, and the best doctors in Kyoto were dispatched to start consultations with several injured Qin family members. It's a pity that even the Qin family's medicinal pills are not very effective. It is too difficult to rely on other medical methods to relieve toxins. After the consultation, the experts can only analyze the pathological section first, but they can't come up with anything other treatment options. The discussion on the internet has never stopped. The topic of immortals of the Qin family occupied almost all the hot searches, and only Qin Feng occupied the top 3 hot topics at the same time. Many bigwigs and high-level personnel in Huaxia have received greetings from other countries in the world one after another. The routine is basically the same. First, they are very excited. Sincere congratulations to Huaxia Kyoto. They have passed this alien invasion smoothly. Crisis. After that, he began to discuss seeking support from China. The most important purpose was to hope that the immortal cultivators of the Qin family could help other countries eliminate alien beasts. At present, the overall crisis in Huaxia has not been completely resolved, and the whole matter is too involved. The person who has to make the final decision is no longer a big boss at the national level, but depends on Qin Feng. I can't get in direct contact with Qin Feng for the time being, and I can't make any substantive reply. The immortal cultivators of the Qin family began to repair at this time. Qin Feng was following the remaining breath and traces, continuing to pursue. After about a few minutes, Qin Feng frowned and felt more and more that something was wrong, because if he continued to move forward in this direction, it would be Los Angeles. You know, fairy villages in Los Angeles at the beginning of the huge crisis in the island city. Those alien beasts launched a retaliatory attack on Dukao village, but they were blocked by the mana barrier left by Qin Feng. This time, those alien beasts were even more ferocious. What is even more unpredictable is whether there will be an invasion of alien creatures similar to the strange ape. Qin Feng decided to speed up the speed, and at the same time, he called Qinzu. Qinzu picked up the phone immediately and could hear a loud wind. "It's me, what's wrong?" Let the injured clansmen continue to stay in Kyoto and leave 5 more people to guard against other dangers in Kyoto. Everyone, now, immediately rush back to Dukao village. Startled. For a while, Qinzu has already reacted. Has the huge sea of clouds vortex moved to Dukao village? I can't confirm it yet, but my hunch is about the same. Okay, I understand. I'll arrange it right away. After Qinzu hung up the phone, she decisively informed the other clansmen. The immortal cultivator of the Qin family, who was still able to fight after a short rest, left Yu Feng in a hurry without the slightest hesitation. There are always various sides on the internet. The immortal cultivators of the Qin family rose again and left soon. It seems that the battle is not over yet, but the main battlefield for the next time is not in Kyoto. If the alien beasts are not completely eliminated in one day, the Qin family will not be able to relax, and we will not be able to return to our normal life before. When is this kind of day ahead? The immortals of the Qin family fight for their lives every time. They haven't said anything yet. Are you complaining about wool? Nervousness? Is this a joke? Don't complain less and do more to transmit positive energy. When the internet is about to fall into controversy again. Luo City, Dukao village. At the beginning, it was Yan Xiao who decided to go to the competition arena without receiving Qinzu's call, ready to inform Qin Feng. Fortunately, Qin Feng exited the customs earlier than expected, and the two hardly communicated much. Qin Feng, who had already sensed something was wrong, rushed to the capital decisively, and then rescued Qinzu and others in a thrilling way. It also protects the safety of Huaxia Kyoto. Yan Xiao, Wu Hua and others, who had already received news from the internet, not only calmed down, but also felt happy from the bottom of their hearts. It's not easy. Sect Master Qin has become a savior again, and he succeeded. Wu Hua now has real admiration for Qin Feng. On Yan Xiao's beautiful face, there was a little less worry. Fortunately, Qin Feng is fine, and the other immortal cultivators in the Qin family have no major problems. This is already a fortune among misfortunes. As soon as the word came to this point, Yan Xiao and the others felt that something was wrong. Originally, in Los Angeles today, the sun was shining, and the weather was fine. At this moment, the sky suddenly turned dark. Woohoo's face suddenly changed, and he blurted out, Is this a foreign beast going to invade? Xiao Li said in a puzzled way, even if alien beasts invade, it will take time for the dark clouds to condense. What's going on, Yan? Xiao's cell phone rang at this moment, and when she glanced at it, it was Qin Feng's call, and Yan Xiao picked it up immediately. Qin Feng, I'm Yan Xiao, you say, immediately. Get everyone in the village to rush to the arena, the sooner the better. Okay, I'll make arrangements now. Qin Feng finally couldn't help but ask a question, which can be regarded as a final confirmation. Has anything changed in the village now? The sky has darkened. Something is really wrong. With a slight sinking in his heart, Qin Feng speeded up again, and reminded at the same time, the huge vortex formed over the Huaxia capital has shifted. Now, it should be at Dukao village, you understand? This matter is no trivial matter. Don't delay any longer, and immediately arrange everyone to go to the competition field. Chapter 138 Weird Cry. Yan Xiao is already smart, and from Qin Feng's tone, it can be judged that things are extraordinary. After hanging up the phone, Yan Xiao decisively to give orders. Sect Master Qin began has an order. Everyone rushes to the arena immediately. Hurry up. Fortunately, when Qin Feng left Dukao village and rushed to Huaxia Kyoto, there was an arrangement for the people in the village to gather in an area closer to the competition field. If there was nothing to do, Yan Xiao's strength is not weak, and when she speaks loudly, it can spread throughout the entire village. As long as you are not deaf, you can definitely hear. Mr. Wu, you are also going to the competition arena. Qin Feng said that before he rushes back, no one should leave the competition arena easily. Understood. Wu nodded, without putting on airs or anything, followed the other tribes in Dukao village and quickly rushed to the competition arena. At the same time, Yan Xiao is also constantly comforting everyone. Don't panic. Sect Master Qin will be back soon. I didn't feel flustered at first, but when I heard this, I didn't feel worried. Don't forget, Qin Feng is extremely powerful. In a short period of time, he can travel through the vast China, and it doesn't take too long to get back. Yan Xiao looked around and said, everyone look at the people around each other to see if anyone is still in the village and hasn't come to the competition arena. When everyone looked at each other, the entire Dukao village, and even half of the city of Los Angeles, was covered by huge dark clouds, and the light was poor. The turbulent sea of clouds vortexes right above Dukao village. According to the last experience, after the alien beast was slaughtered by the immortal cultivator of the Qin family, he wanted to attack other people in the village and take bloody revenge. Fortunately, the mana barrier left by Qin Feng is very powerful, and in a short period of time, there must be no major problems at this time. An old man in the village said, oops, that kid Xiaochuan hasn't come yet. Yan Xiao froze in her heart and realized that Qin Xiaochuan had a strong talent in refining medicine pills and was praised by Qin Feng more than once. Qin Xiaochuan has been thinking about refining new medicinal pills recently, and it can be said that he forgets to eat and sleep. Qin Xiaochuan probably didn't hear Yan Xiao's voice just now because he was too fascinated. I'm going to find Xiaochuan. Other Qin family members are about to leave. At this time, Yan Xiao, who had a whole country and a city, resolutely said, no one is allowed to go out. This is the order of Sect Master Qin. Then, what about Xiaochuan? You can't just watch that child go wrong. Several old people from the Qin family were anxious. Yan Xiao took a breath in silence, her pretty face full of determination. You are all staying at the competition arena. I will go to Xiaochuan. At this time, the huge vortex of the sea of clouds in the sky continued to rotate and roll, and it continued to press down. It was also due to the fact that everyone was in the arena. Otherwise, if they felt the terrifying pressure, they might be crushed. Wu said worriedly, Miss Yan, it's not appropriate for you to go. In case of danger, if something happens to you, how will you explain it to Sect Master Qin? Regardless of whether Qin Feng is a straight man of steel or not, at least in the eyes of outsiders, the relationship between Qin Feng and Yan Xiao is unusual. Yan Xiao had already rushed out. Although her voice was sweet, she was vaguely determined. Don't worry, don't forget, I'm an immortal cultivator. Even if there is danger, I'll be fine. Now, I'm the strongest, so it's best to go to Xiaochen. Although everyone was worried, they could only silently accept this statement. Indeed, only Yan Xiao was the fastest point. After leaving the competition arena, Yan Xiao frowned, feeling the cold air constantly inspiring from her back, and the majestic pressure was constantly invading from the vortex of the sea of clouds. If Yan Xi's strength had not improved a lot recently, she would have been scared there. To move on point unfolding her figure, Yan Xiao's speed is getting faster and faster. Qin Xiaochen? Qin Xiaochen, Yan Xiao generally knew where Qin Xiaochen's family lived, but he didn't know if he could find it. If the child went outside the village, because of refining medicinal pills, and looking for something, things would be in big trouble. Fortunately, when I was about to arrive, a familiar voice came. Sister Yao, I'm here. Qin Xiaochen, whose face was extremely pale, with panic in his eyes, had already arrived near the gate. Until now, he has not forgotten to bring his furnace. Yan Xiao didn't have the heart to blame and complain about her child, so she dragged Qin Xiaochen and rushed to the competition field at a high speed. Can faintly feel Qin Xiaochen's body trembling constantly. Yan Xiao said comfortably, don't be afraid, Sister Yao is here, we are almost there. Well, I'm not afraid. In the vortex of the sea of clouds, there is a whistling sound of the wind. He was getting closer and closer to the competition arena, but Yan Xiao also felt an invisible pressure that was spreading crazily. Behind him, it was like an invisible evil ghost who was desperate for his life, chasing him constantly. Yan Xiao, slightly startled, Yan Xiao seemed to hear a familiar voice calling her. It's just that the instinct of the immortal cultivator is reminding her that there is danger, and she cannot turn back. At this time, Qin Xiaochen had to turn back subconsciously. Obviously, when Yan Xiao vaguely heard someone calling her, Qin Xiaochen had the same experience. Gritting her teeth, Yan Xiao tried her best to stay awake and scolded, do not look back. Yan Xiao held Qin Xiaochen with one hand and blocked the back of Qin Xiaochen's head with the other, preventing him from looking back. At this time, the competition arena is getting closer and closer. Yan Xiao, the voice behind him was so gentle. From Yan Xiao's ears, it was clear that Qin Feng was calling out to him. For a moment, Yan Xiao couldn't help but turn back. The cultivator's instinct was still reminding her that something was wrong. If Qin Feng was returning, with Qin Feng's speed, he could get to the front in the blink of an eye, so why call himself behind him? Besides, even if Qin Feng really returns, wait until the competition arena, then go and explain to Qin Feng why he didn't look back. Qin Feng won't be angry. If he wants to come, then it's better to wait until it's completely safe. Seeing that the competition arena was already a step away, the voice behind him became more and more gentle. Yan Xiao, wait for me, are you going to leave me? The voice is not only gentle, but also deceitful. Yan Xiao's slender figure stagnated subconsciously. The remaining rationality made Yan Xiao's arm exert force and directly pushed Qin Xiaochen into the competition arena. Yan Xiao, look back at me, I'm Qin Feng. Yan Xiao's pretty face became a little dazed. At this time, Qin Xiaochen's eyes were a little dazed at first, but after entering the competition arena, his eyes regained clarity, and he hurriedly shouted, Sister Yao, coming quickly. Yan Xiao turned a deaf ear, but at this time, she had already turned around. She was only one step away from the competition arena, and finally chose to turn around. Chapter 139. Something happened. After Yan Xiao turned around, she was obviously a lot less agile than usual, and she looked a little sluggish. Although Qin Xiaochen is young, he is not only talented in refining medicine pills, but also very smart. He already felt that something was wrong, and he kept shouting, Sister Yao, come back soon. Unfortunately, after shouting a few times, there was no response from Yan Xiao. Qin Xiaochuan was in a hurry, and he was about to chase after him. It's just that Wu Hua hugged him from behind before he could go out. What are you doing? No one can go out of the arena. I have to save Sister Yao. Qin Xiaochuan was very impatient, knowing that Yan Xiao was in danger, and because he was looking for him, he encountered a crisis. Even if he usually refines medicine pills, he will often let the clan cultivators cooperate and stimulate the refining of spiritual energy. In addition to the talent of medicine pills, he is a child. Wu Hua looked around and saw that the front of Yan Xiao was actually empty, and he could only hear the howling wind. The dark clouds in the sky continued to press down, and there was a trembling sense of terror in the vortex of the sea of clouds. Miss Yan, come back soon. Yan Xiao, come back. Wu Hua, Xiaoli and the others kept shouting, but Yan Xiao still turned a deaf ear. Gritting his teeth, Wu Hua became anxious and asked Xiaoli to take care of Qin Xiaochuan. He wanted to rush out. It was at this time that Yan Xiao rose up against the wind at an astonishingly fast speed and even ran towards the huge vortex of the sea of clouds. Some of the Qin family members who stayed in the competition field exclaimed. They were not immortal cultivators, so they could only watch and could not stop them. In the blink of an eye, Yan Xiao disappeared into the vortex of the sea of clouds, and no trace could be seen again. Qin Xiaochuan struggled to rush out. I'm going to save Sister Yao. There must be danger there. Xiaoli was in a hurry. He knew very well that Qin Xiaochuan's talent for refining medicine pills was amazing. For the Qin family and the entire China, he was a rare talent. How could he be in danger again? Middle, be obedient. Miss Yan is here to save you. If you go out at this time and something happens again, it won't make all of Miss Yan's efforts in vain. After gritting his teeth, Wu Hua had to go to check, but was stopped by the driver and bodyguard. Mr. Wu, you can't go out. It's too dangerous and can't help you much. I have to go and see. Otherwise, Sect Master Qin is back. How can I explain to Sect Master Qin? It's in the middle of an argument. It's a coincidence. In the southeast direction, a golden light flickered, and soon, the light bloomed, and a figure swept in at a high speed. You don't need to ask to know that the only person who can have this kind of speed is Qin Feng. In the blink of an eye, he arrived at the competition arena, and Qin Feng was in front of several people. Seeing Qin Xiaochuan wiping tears, Qin Feng's expression remained unchanged, but his heart sank, and he asked, "Why are you crying? What happened?" The look on Wu Hua's face was very helpless. "I'm sorry, Sect Master Qin. I couldn't let someone take good care of Miss Yan." Qin Feng didn't see Yan Xiao in the crowd just now, and Qin Feng felt that something was wrong. At this time, his face couldn't help but change slightly. "Don't talk nonsense. Tell me, what happened?" At this time, Qin Xiaochuan said with a crying voice, "Sect Master, it's all my fault." After the village was covered by dark clouds, Sister Yao asked everyone to rush to the competition arena. I was concocting pills at home. I heard it, but I didn't want to stop. Sister Yao was worried about me, so she went to find me and wanted to take me to the competition arena. Qin Xiaochuan is not very old, but his thinking is still clear, and he repeated what happened not long ago. After listening, Qin Feng looked at the vortex of the sea of clouds that was constantly spinning in the void, with a rare dignified expression on his face. No one could feel the mysterious and terrifying aura of the vortex more clearly than Qin Feng. At that time, when Qinzu was in the capital of Huaxia, Qinzu charged with his clansmen and almost stumbled in, but Qin Feng stopped him. No one expected that Qin Feng hurried back to Dukao village, but still failed to stop something from happening. Now, Yan Xiao's figure has completely disappeared into the vortex. Without much hesitation, Qin Feng said, "Everyone, listen and remember my words. Before Qinzu brings the other clan cultivators back, no one is allowed to leave the arena." Wu Hua's face changed. He already understood what Qin Feng meant, and quickly said, "Sect Master Qin, I know you're in a hurry, but now you must be calm. If you go into the vortex, it's too dangerous. A few times ago, there were vortexes in the sea of clouds in other cities, and alien beasts invaded, Finally, after those alien beasts were defeated by the immortals of the Qin family, they fled into the vortex of the Sea of Clouds and soon disappeared. The place where there was a vortex became calm, as if nothing had happened. Our country's scientific researchers, I've been working on it for a while. Unfortunately, until now, there are no clues at all. After the vortex disappears, it seems to have completely dissipated, and there is no trace to be traced. If you go into the vortex, if the vortex suddenly disappears, then it will be troublesome already. Everyone's faces changed wildly. Indeed, Yan Xiao felt uncomfortable when he was in danger. However, if Qin Feng went into the vortex and failed to save Yan Xiao, even Qin Feng disappeared completely because of the sudden disappearance of the vortex of the Sea of Clouds. Who can accept this consequence? The immortal cultivators of the Qin family are strong, but Qin Feng is the real Ding Heishinsen, and it can even be said to be the last hope of Huaxia. Is it worth taking the risk for a Yan Xiao? Qin Feng's expression became as indifferent as usual. Don't worry, I will be fine. There is nothing that can sleep me. The more calmly he said it, the more confident he appeared. Mr. Wu, after I go to the vortex, you should contact my sister Qinzu immediately. Don't tell her what happened, just say that I ordered her to bring her clan cultivators and come back as soon as possible. When everyone comes back, pass down my order. No matter what you hear or even see, don't enter the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, otherwise I will directly expel those who do not obey the order from the sect. Expel the Qin family. I understand. Wu Hua came down, but his face was even more ugly and worried. The more severe the order Qin Feng gave, the more dangerous it represented the things to be experienced. At this time, Qin Feng went to the vortex of the Sea of Clouds for Yan Xiao, which basically means that he is going to work hard. Wu Hua wants to stop it, but he can't stop it. He can only pray silently in his heart. May the sky bless and let Qin Feng return safely. Chapter 140 Only Waiting. Qin Feng knew that saving people was like putting out a fire. After explaining everything, he didn't hesitate any longer. Wu Hua's expression was very complicated. He was worried, helpless, and deeply admired. Fools all know that this time, in the Sea of Clouds, there is still no idea how much danger is waiting. Qin Feng did not hesitate from the beginning to the end, and, like that, it was not like going to fight for his life at all, but more like going to an appointment, drinking tea with an old friend. This kind of attitude of seeing death as home is not something that can be seen by ordinary people. Seen on the body point at Qin Feng's speed, he quickly disappeared into the vortex of the Sea of Clouds. Wu Hua and the others present had their hearts in their throats. The most worrying thing was that once Qin Feng entered the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, it would disappear immediately. From then on, they didn't know where to look for Qin Feng. Fortunately, the most worrying thing did not happen. After Qin Feng disappeared into the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, there was no obvious change in the sky. Of course, it was unrealistic to want to see Qin Feng again. Everyone was in an anxious wait, wishing Qin Feng could take Yan Xiao and appear in front of everyone immediately. Time is passing. Wu Hua has asked for the third time. How long has passed? Why hasn't Sect Master Qin returned? Xiaoli replied, it's just 10 minutes, leader. Don't be too anxious. Can I be in a hurry? Although it was only 10 minutes in the past, Wu Hua felt like a century had passed. The main reason is that Qin Feng has a huge responsibility now. If Qin Feng really had an accident, Wu Hua didn't know how to explain it to the leaders above him. Time is still passing, and for about half an hour, the vortex of the Sea of Clouds still exists, but unfortunately, there is still no movement. Suddenly, a faint golden light flickered. Wu Hua's eyes widened. It's Zhang Zuqin back. Unfortunately, the next moment Wu Hua's face was filled with great disappointment. There were a lot of golden rays of light, but the people who came were Qinzu and other Qin family cultivators, not Qin Feng and Yan Xiao. Qinzu looked at the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, frowned, and said, it's such a strong pressure, and it's definitely not normal. After that, everyone be careful. Speaking of Kung Fu, they all came to the competition arena. After Qin Wen saw Wu Hua, he also joked, Mr. Wu, what do you mean? Why are we looking disappointed and unhappy after seeing us coming back? Isn't this a bit too much? Woohoo sighed, and his face became more and more ugly. Kinzu sensed something was wrong, and asked, "Where's my brother? And where is Yao? Zio-chan, why are you crying?" "Sister Zu, it's all because of me." Zio-chan, who had been feeling guilty all the time, burst into tears, unable to explain what happened. The faces of the immortal cultivators of the Qin family who came back all changed. Even if Qin Wen's character was relatively slow to respond, they all understood that something must have happened. After hearing what Woohoo said about what happened, everyone's expressions changed again. Qin Wen was in a hurry in an instant, and he was about to leave the arena. "I'm going to find Brother Feng." Before taking 2 steps, Kinzu's voice sounded, "You stop for me, Sister Zu." What? Are you? Did you forget what Qin Feng said before he left, that you want to be expelled from the sect and the Qin family forever? Now, you must wait for me at the competition arena. Qin Wen clenched his neck, a little unconvinced. "Brother Feng has an order, but don't you care if Brother Feng is in danger? Besides, what Mr. Wu said is evil. When we came back just now, we didn't find that there was too much abnormality in the Sea of Clouds, even if we went in to look for it. Brother Feng, what can we do?" Qin Yareli agrees with her younger brother. "Yes, we can't wait here. Think of a way to help Brother Feng. Let's go together." Everyone was excited. At this time, there was a chuck sound, and the sound of the long sword unsheathed. Kinzu's pretty face was cold, and she said decisively, "If anyone doesn't listen to the orders left by the sect master, then as the sect's special envoy to the east, I will uphold the sect's regulations and implement the sect master's orders. If you want to go, you must first promise me the sword in my hand." The few clansmen who were going out just now looked a little helpless. After Qin Haoxu was injured, the most powerful now is Kinzu. Besides, even if he can beat Kinzu, it is impossible for the clan to kill each other. Because of this incident, Qin Wen was in a hurry. "Sister Zu, we are not causing trouble. We are going to help Brother Feng. Why do you have to stop it?" Kinzu has grown too much after the defense battle in Huaxia capital. Even though Qin Feng, his younger brother, may be in danger now, he maintains a relatively calm with strong self-control. "Let me ask you, if you go to the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, there is a huge danger there. Are you sure you can help the sect master? Maybe it will become a drag." "Not at all. Do you think your strength is stronger than Qin Feng?" Qin Wen opened his mouth, always wanting to refute, but he couldn't say anything. Kinzu continued, "According to Mr. Wu, Yao's performance at that time was very abnormal, and the vortex of the Sea of Clouds was full of strangeness. When we came back just now, you should have felt a lot of pressure, right? I suspect now that the reason why we were not affected by the vortex of the Sea of Clouds like Yao was because Qin Feng went to the vortex of the Sea of Clouds. Otherwise, we would have had an accident long ago." Everyone calmed down and thought for a while, and they had to say that what Kinzu just said really made sense. Qin Wen asked helplessly, "We just wait like this, just wait. If something happens to Brother Feng." Qin Wen was interrupted by Kinzu before he could finish speaking. "Qin Feng will not have an accident. This is not the first time that Qin Feng has encountered a crisis. When has Qin Feng failed to solve the trouble? I believe that this time Qin Feng will still be able to return safely. What we can do is not to cause trouble. Strictly implement the orders left by Qin Feng. Our suzerain." Everyone fell silent, and the more Kinzu thought about it, the more people couldn't refute it. It is true that Qin Feng may be facing danger, but if even Qin Feng can't solve it, even if others participate, it will have little effect. Time is still passing, and at least an hour has passed since Qin Feng entered the vortex of the Sea of Clouds. The vortex of the Sea of Clouds in the sky is still churning and spinning, but no trace of Qin Feng's return has been found. Everyone waited more and more anxiously, and everyone knew very well that the longer the delay, the greater the danger they encountered. Based on the current time, I'm afraid that what Qin Feng is experiencing now is life and death in the true sense test. In the end, what will happen in the end, only God can know. Chapter 141 is like a dream. No matter what happened outside, after Qin Feng entered the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, he couldn't hear or see it. I thought that behind the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, there were countless alien beasts. After entering, it was definitely a life and death fight. However, what Qin Feng didn't expect was that when he entered the back, he felt the darkness of nothingness in front of him. In general, darkness and darkness are different. The darkness you see when you close your eyes also gives people a sense of reality. When you cover your eyes with your hands or something else, the scene in front of you is completely different. It was a kind of nihilistic darkness that made people feel lost, and what Qin Feng experienced was like this. The sound of the gust of wind could be heard in his ears. If Qin Feng hadn't tried his best to stabilize his body, perhaps he would have been blown away. Silently maintaining vigilance, Qin Feng sensed the surrounding atmosphere. No trace of the existence of alien beasts was found, and Qin Feng also did not perceive the existence of Yan Xiao. After thinking for a while, Qin Feng simply opened his mouth and shouted tentatively, "Yan Xiao, Yan Xiao." Apart from the wind, there was no other response. Qin Feng maintained a high degree of alertness and continued to move forward. In this case, people's sense of direction is extremely poor, and even the route you imagined is completely different from the actual route, but Qin Feng has no other way. You can't stay where you are, right? I don't know how long it took. According to the normal time, Qin Feng felt that it should be more than half an hour. Faintly, a familiar and unfamiliar voice came from behind. Qin Feng, Qin Feng. Qin Feng, who has always been very calm, couldn't help but tremble at this moment. After a while, Qin Feng turned around. At this moment, the emptiness in front of him disappeared. Behind him stood a woman in white with picturesque eyebrows, slightly tilted her head, and between her eyebrows, there were all kinds of amorous feelings. The woman's eyes are very clear, and you can't see any bloodshot and turbidity, and the bright eyes like autumn water are like this. The skin is whiter than snow. The overall temperament is excellent. Cute, but also a little weak. Maybe every man will inevitably sigh after seeing it. The face of the perfect first love in his imagination must be the appearance of the girl in front of him. However, the woman was not the Yan Xiao that Qin Feng was looking for. After pondering for a while, Qin Feng said slowly, "Why are you here?" Obviously, at least Qin Feng should know this girl, and when the woman looked at Qin Feng, the emotion in her eyes was absolutely extraordinary. Do you remember me? I don't want to forget it, so I will remember it, but that's meaningless, right? When the woman heard Qin Feng's words, her expression was filled with sadness. Qin Feng, why are you talking to me like this? You seem so indifferent. What you said, no matter what happened in the past, or in the future, you will not make me sad. Have you forgotten all about it? The more he said, the girl's expression was so sad, almost heartbroken. Any normal man would feel pity when he saw that sad and beautiful appearance. Qin Feng finally sighed. Maybe I am used to talking like this, and it's not against you, so don't be so sad. The girl's face improved a little, and she walked towards Qin Feng. I miss you so much. I haven't seen you for a long time. Have you ever thought of me at some point? Qin Feng opened his mouth, but did not speak. The woman tilted her head slightly and walked slowly, the distance between the two getting closer and closer. Qin Feng, I really want you to hug me. As she spoke, the woman opened her arms and was already approaching. It was at this time that Qin Feng did not hesitate and suddenly drew his sword. Chuck. The sword energy is vertical and horizontal, and the dragon Yuan sword surges out, and there is a faint sound of dragon roar, which completely suppresses the sound of the wind in the vortex of the sea of clouds. The woman exclaimed, "How could you touch me?" Qin Feng did not receive any influence. The long sword disappeared in a flash. PFFT. There was red blood sputtering out, and everything in front of him seemed to have changed significantly in an instant. How can there be a woman of peerless elegance, but there is a strange alien beast, about 1 meter high, with a snow white body, 6 or 7 parts like a fox, but at this time, Qin Feng's long sword has slashed the whole, revealing. Qin Feng's expression was indifferent, his wrist flicked, and the blood remaining on the long sword was shaken away. The dragon Yin sword returned to the scabbard, and Qin Feng's voice sounded, "How dare you make an axe with a little trick of carving insects?" At this moment, there was applause from behind Qin Feng. Amazing. Awesome. In the blink of an eye, you can see through those illusory existences. It seems that I underestimated you, but the more you show too much, then you must die here today. Qin Feng turned around and looked. A few meters away, a man in black with a pointed mouth and monkey cheeks was standing there point behind the man. There were two black clothed men whose faces could not be seen clearly. In addition, Yan Xiao was tied to a tree. His mouth was covered by a white cloth, and he kept shaking his head at Qin Feng. His eyes Zhangman is anxious. Although he couldn't speak, Qin Feng could feel that it was Yan Xiao reminding himself that he was in danger, as if he was still reminding Qin Feng, don't hesitate, just leave here, and don't even think about saving Yan Xiao. Snapped. The sound of the whip breaking through the air sounded, and there was a blood mark on Yan Xiao's pretty face. Qin Feng's expression remained unchanged, and he said calmly, it won't be so boring, and won't it be so naive? Why, do you think you can threaten me by grabbing a woman? If you really have this idea, I can give you a suggestion, to kill Yan Xiao directly. Flick your brows, I'm not even called Qin Feng. The black-clothed man with sharp mouth and monkey cheeks sneered and said, I don't know if you are really ruthless, or if you pretended it on purpose. Aren't you afraid that I will actually kill this woman? While speaking, the man in black whose face could not be clearly seen next to him swung the whip again and slapped Yan Xiao fiercely. Snapped. The voice was exceptionally loud. Yan Xiao's beautiful face, which was originally very beautiful, could be said to have been destroyed. Blood flowed down her chin and ripped onto the clothes in front of her chest. At this time, Yan Xiao was stubborn and did not make any sound. Qin Feng's expression remained unchanged, and he said slowly, kill her, but I promise, you guys will definitely die, and they will die very miserably. The man with the pointed mouth and monkey cheeks was not angry because of Qin Feng's words. On the contrary, he was still laughing. You are in a hurry. You are in a hurry. Haha, see, this kid is in a hurry. It's a pity. It's a pity. Your threat to me is useless. She will die, and you will die here. Of course, I can give you a chance. You kneel down and kowtow to me. In that way, I will send in kindness will choose between the two of you to survive. The man looked at Qin Feng jokingly. That kind of gaze was like a cat that caught a mouse, and he would definitely not let it go easily. Chapter 142 People have missed. Qin Feng's expression was still calm, and he even smiled. Do you have to be so childish? Stop talking nonsense. I won't kneel. You and I are not fools. Now, if I kneel, I will be taking a step back. If I take a step back, you will make me take 100 steps back. In the end, you will kill both of us and stay here together. Let's kill her. All I can do is to avenge her. The man with sharp mouth and monkey cheeks laughed and looked at Yan Xiao. Didn't you always think this man would come to save you? Only now do you realize how ruthless and unrighteous he is. Yan Xiao was unable to speak, and the look on her pretty face was a bit complicated. Of course, I didn't see too many complaints, and there was a bit of fear. In the end, no one is not afraid of death, but they can't ask Qin Feng to do more. Qin Feng's words just now, although ugly, it's all true too. Human nature is indeed the most unsustainable. Boy, you must remember that her death was caused by you, and you will be in guilt in your life. Qin Feng said slowly, I won't feel guilty, I'm just making the right choice. The man with sharp mouth and monkey cheeks seemed to have lost interest in continuing to entangle with Qin Feng in an instant, and ordered, kill her. On the left was a black-clothed man whose face could not be seen clearly. A cold light flickered in his hand, and a sharp sword struck Yan Xiao's throat instantly. It was at this time that Qin Feng's figure suddenly flashed, and he rushed forward at a high speed. In Qin Feng's judgment, the other party wants to threaten Yan Xiao's life. As long as he doesn't move, when he really wants to kill someone, the person who shoots will definitely be a little hesitant. Maybe he wants to watch Qin Feng helplessly. When Yan Xiao died, what kind of mood and pain did she suffer? What Qin Feng was waiting for was a momentary opportunity. Although his attitude was vague, Qin Feng definitely wanted to save people. Yan Xiao is in danger because of Qin Xiaochen, so Qin Feng is responsible. Qin Feng's speed increased to the peak in an instant, and it looked like a teleportation. Chuck. The long guy in the sword was unsheathed, and there was a magnificent sword energy surging. The black-clothed man with sharp mouth and monkey cheeks dodged and stepped back, while the black-clothed man who shot was much faster than Qin Feng expected. PFFT. Qin Feng never expected that the opponent's sharp blade, one step ahead of himself, cut through Yan Xiao's throat, and blood spurted out instantly. His heart sank suddenly. At this moment, Qin Feng's mind unconsciously came up with the words of the sharp-mouthed monkey-cheeked man just now, that Yan Xiao's death was caused by you, and you will feel guilty for the rest of your life. Go to hell. Qin Feng, who is rarely furious, has the Dragon Yuan sword in his hand reaching its limit. Hey, the sword key was 30,000 miles across, and the black-clothed man who attacked Yan Xiao was cut off by the long sword. Before he could react, another man retreated suddenly, wanting to leave this place of right and wrong quickly. Qin Feng's eyes were already red at this time, and the Dragon Yuan sword in his hand flew out, completely ignoring that this was the only Imperial soldier. Puff. The Dragon Yuan sword pierced through the man's back center, passing through his body, and blood splashed. In the blink of an eye, Qin Feng killed 2 people in a row. It's a pity that the man with the sharp-mouthed monkey's cheeks had already chosen the backside when he gave the order to do it. At this time, he had completely escaped and could not see any traces. Qin Feng didn't go after him. He felt a little bit of luck in his heart and caught Yan Xiao, whose body fell backwards on the pretty face. There are many scars, and blood is constantly flowing from the wound at the vital part of the throat. Qin Feng's complexion changes again, knowing that Yan Xiao's injury is too serious. Quickly took out the white cloth from Yan Xiao's mouth. Qin Feng touched it back and wanted to take out the medicinal pill, but he directly felt empty. Normally, Qin Feng was extremely confident and never felt that he would suffer any injuries. The refined medicinal pills had already been distributed to the clansmen, and now he can't get them at all. The brilliance in Yan Xiao's eyes was already relatively dim, but she tried her best to say, "No, don't feel guilty. I." When speaking, blood sputtered from his mouth, and it looked shocking. On Qin Feng's face, he was no longer as calm as at the beginning, showing anxiety. "Don't talk, hold on, I will definitely save you, I will." Yan Xiao, whose blood was constantly sputtering, forced a smile. Forget me." The moment the words fell, the brilliance in Yan Xiao's eyes completely dimmed, and there was no sound anymore. At this moment, the sentence reappeared in Qin Feng's mind unconsciously. "It was because of you that she would die, and you would feel guilty for the rest of your life." His lips trembled slightly. Looking at Yan Xiao, who died in front of him, Qin Feng's heart couldn't help but start to hurt. Qin Feng is not stupid. He can tell that the last thing Yan Xiao wanted to say was "not forgetting me, but I like you." But a kind and understanding girl, at the last moment of her life, she doesn't want Qin Feng to be burdened with guilt, did not say those words after all. Instead, he advised Qin Feng to forget. Qin Feng's face twisted, and he couldn't help but mutter to himself, "How could this be? How could this be? I always felt that something was wrong in my heart." But the sadness made Qin Feng unable to calm down and think. Suddenly, a very familiar voice sounded. "It's your fault that you are too confident, or rather, too conceited. If you were more cautious, she would not die." In Qin Feng's eyes, there was a rare bit of daze, and when he looked up, he was very surprised. The person who spoke was actually Qin Feng himself. In other words, there is another self, standing there at this time, with a face full of sadness, regret, helplessness, and anger. "After you became an immortal cultivator, everything went so smoothly. Before you knew it, you still underestimated the danger. You thought you would be able to save Yan Xiao, but now, after all, you were wrong. After you go back, how do you face Qin Xiaochuan? The Yao sister who saved his name is gone. Well, take a step back. You can face Qin Xiaochuan, but can you face your own heart?" This sentence exploded in Qin Feng's mind like a dull thunder. He felt that the whole person was a little confused, and the thoughts of remorse kept invading his heart. It was at this time that the other self in front of him was flickering with golden light. Boom, accompanied by a loud noise. The other self in front of him disappeared and was replaced by a Buddha statue that was over 100 feet tall. The golden light is splendid, like the true god of the Buddha, with solemnity, and people's hearts can't help but give birth to the thought of worship. The vast majesty struck Qin Feng who looked slightly blind, couldn't help but knelt down and blurted out, "I'm compassionate, I was really wrong." If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143. The long kneeling before the Buddha has been 1,000 years. The Buddha statue is solemn and solemn, with brilliant golden light, the solemn feeling that washes people's hearts, and it is not flooded all the time. Comparing the heart with the heart, it is the Buddha's heart. If there is resentment, it is difficult to eliminate. If there is obsession, it is difficult to understand. There is no way for the donor, and there is no way for the Buddha. In Qin Feng's mind, there were constant explosions in a trance. He clearly felt that something seemed wrong, but he still couldn't think about it. Instead, he unconsciously thought that comparing his heart with his heart is a Buddha's heart. Before Yan Xiao died, did he really have no resentment? If you were Yan Xiao, wouldn't you want to be rescued the most? Unfortunately, horses stumble and people stumble. At that moment, Qin Feng failed after all, and could only watch Yan Xiao die. Please enlighten the Buddha. Can I see Yan Xiao again? Does the donor have a Buddha in his heart? I have a Buddha in my heart. Then, you should ask your own heart. The ethereal voice is like a Sanskrit singing softly, but Qin Feng's heart is even more confused, asking his own heart, what does that mean? Is it to face everything that happened? However, I still can't help but want to know, can I see Yan Xiao again? Qin Feng knelt in front of the Buddha, but failed to obtain the tranquility he wanted, but continued to fall into confusion. Peace, focus. Sanskrit's rebirth seems to be telling Qin Feng that he should restrain his complicated thoughts, and then he may be able to find the answer. Qin Feng tried his best to keep his inner peace, but he couldn't do it at all. He could only kneel there, thinking constantly. Time seems to pass by inadvertently, and I don't know how much time has passed. Flowers are blooming, flowers are falling, flowers are blooming, and the surrounding scene. I don't know how many springs and autumns have changed, but the Buddha statue is still there. Qin Feng is still unable to kneel. There were hesitations and struggles in his expression, but Qin Feng seemed to be suppressed by something. His thoughts were always confused, and he couldn't really meditate. Perhaps it is not pious enough. Sooner or later, one day, I will see through the true thoughts in my heart. Qin Feng kept comforting himself in his mind. Even though the surrounding scenery kept changing, he still knelt in front of the Buddha statue. The vicissitudes of life, the scene in front of me, I don't know how many times I have changed it. Qin Feng's expression became more and more confused. How many years has he been here? Is it 100 years? No, a certain period of time is longer, and the millennium is more than 1,000 years. When the world changes, is everything dissipated? And what is the meaning of everything that has been insisted on? I can't even see through my own heart. Now, even if I leave, how should I go in the future? What's the point? Qin Feng's thoughts became more and more decadent. Instead, he just wanted to kneel here forever. Perhaps, in this case, at least, he would not feel so guilty. Time is like sliding sand in the hand. It always slips away inadvertently. I don't know how long it took. Qin Feng could faintly feel the decay, dilapidation, and desolation between heaven and earth. The most regrettable thing is that Qin Feng still didn't see through his own heart and couldn't understand the future road. Forget it. If it goes on like this, everything has long since become meaningless. Qin Feng felt that it might have been thousands of years since he knelt in front of the Buddha. At least, 3,000 years should only be a lot longer. The scene between heaven and earth is getting more and more dilapidated. Only the golden light on the Buddha statue, after 3,000 years, has endured for a long time, and gradually, it has become the last light that Qin Feng can rely on. Time is still passing. This day, Qin Feng suddenly raised his head. Sanskrit resurrection. Donor, have you seen your heart clearly? You know. At this moment, Qin Feng interrupted the follow-up words very rarely. How to see it, and how to not see it. A sigh filled the sky and the earth in a trance. Donor, you have a picture you can't see through. Unexpectedly, Qin Feng, who has always been extremely pious, stood up at this time point. There was no more decadence. Qin Feng stood there, like a long spear that would not bend between heaven and earth, kneeling before the Buddha for 3,000 years. I have never seen my Buddha's heart be pity. What's the use of me kneeling here? What can I do if I can't see it? And how can I see it? Donor, how about people? What about Buddhas in this world? Since I have to ask my heart, what's the use of asking you? Qin Feng's voice was decisive. His eyes became extremely firm, and the next moment, Qin Feng's figure suddenly rose from the wind. Doesn't matter if you are a Buddha or a ghost. Today, I, Qin Feng, will block and kill the devil, and the Buddha should kill the Buddha. Bold. You have entered the devil's way, yet, I have my way, and I don't care if he is evil. Why should I care if it is a Buddha or a demon? As Qin Feng's voice fell, choking sounded, sword, come. The dragon roar between heaven and earth was extremely shocking. The sword energy is vertical and horizontal, and between heaven and earth, all the space in a trance is filled with sword shadows and sword lights. Break. Qin Feng kept going forward, and the Langayan sword slashed directly at the Buddha statue. This is impossible. Between heaven and earth, there was no more Sanskrit chanting, and faintly, a shocked and flustered voice sounded. Qin Feng's moral was like a rainbow, and there was no stagnation point. The dragon yin sword is the existence of an imperial soldier, and Qin Feng's overall strength is not weak, but strong at this time, no matter how long he kneels. Boom. No matter how solemn your Buddha statue is, in front of the tyrannical and unparalleled strength, your soul will also fly away. The scene in front of him began to fade in an instant, and there were no flowers and plants, but it was still in the dark. Qin Feng's sword smashed the Buddha statue, but his speed did not stagnate in the slightest. His body flickered, and he was 10 meters away in an instant. The long sword pointed forward, and Qin Feng's voice sounded, I knew you were here. At the position pointed by the long sword, the man with the pointed mouth and monkey cheeks looked at Qin Feng with a very surprised expression, and blurted out, how is that possible? You actually saw through it, and you know I'll be here? Qin Feng's expression has long since returned to his calm look, and said slowly, I just entered the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, and I saw that the girl who had a relationship with me was an illusion, and the fox-like beast I killed was real, and you were real. But Yan Xiao's death, it's just fake, it's just an illusion. The so-called Buddha, of course, can only be an illusion. You just want to use this method to trap me here, or to make me completely lost. At that time, if you want to kill me, you can easily do it. The man with sharp and mouth monkey cheeks squinted his eyes, and his voice was cold. Oh, I underestimated you. So, you have seen through everything? I'm very curious, how and when did you find out? Qin Feng looked indifferent, with a smile on the corner of his mouth. From the moment I saw you, I knew what happened, whether it was true or false. Chapter 144, Thoughtful. The man with the sharp-mouthed monkey gills had a hard time accepting Qin Feng's statement, and he spoke a little emotionally. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. In stark contrast, Qin Feng became more and more calm. Do you know what it means to be clever, but be mistaken by cleverness? As soon as I entered the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, I encountered an illusion. I thought about it. Your original intention was to give me a hint, so that I mistakenly thought that the illusion was broken by me. Then next, it will be easier for you to follow your way. Unfortunately, I'm not that stupid. The illusion that appeared first reminded me that there may be more illusions in the future. Moreover, I'm very confident in my own strength. It's impossible for the killer around me to kill Yan Xiao one step ahead of me. Brows tightened. The man sighed. I understand. This is indeed an oversight. In terms of strength, you are stronger and naturally faster, and Yan Xiao is still dead. It becomes unreasonable, and makes you suspicious. Yes, at that moment, I was sure that Yan Xiao's death was just an illusion. The man with the sharp-mouthed monkey's cheeks blurted out and asked, then I don't understand. Why didn't you say it at the time? It's very simple. I just want to see what tricks you can come up with. Of course, there is another reason. I have to make you feel that I have completely fallen into your rhythm, so that you will not be alive. Yan Xiao doesn't even think about taking Yan Xiao's life to threaten me. The man's face was at hen. At this time, he suddenly felt that Qin Feng's mind was a little scary. Qin Feng continued there, of course, I have to admit that I was influenced by you, and the illusions you created are indeed very demagogic, and I kept hinting in my heart to make me feel extremely guilty because of Yan Xiao's death, but after I have under vigilance, trying to make me lost is basically impossible. By the way, I should also thank you very well. The man looked at Qin Feng, who was talking in amazement. Thank me? Yes. My strength has entered the realm too quickly. Perhaps, invisibly, my foundation is somewhat unstable. The illusion you weave made me see through the confusion in my heart, which is equivalent to helping me improve my weaknesses. To further improve your strength, shouldn't I thank you? The man looked at Qin Feng, who was smiling but not smiling, and was so angry that he almost vomited blood. I thought Qin Feng was being toyed with by himself, but who knows, everything was so wrong, and he helped Qin Feng instead. With a cold snort, the man's expression became very gloomy. Don't be complacent. Even if you see through the illusion, so what, are you still going to die today? Qin Feng laughed. Although he didn't specifically laugh at it, he still felt very uncomfortable when he heard it in the man's ears. Why? Are you still pretending to be with me? You want to kill me? The best chances when I'm in an illusion point. I also gave you a chance at that time, but unfortunately, you are too steadfast and want to wait until I'm completely lost. If you don't waste your hard work, you will kill me, and your thoughts are too good, which will make you miss the best time. Boy, you don't need to be mad at me on purpose. It won't work at all. Didn't you say it yourself? In the illusion, you deliberately pretended to be lost. Then, if I really shot you, you will be directly killed by you. Now, I have paid more attention to your kid, then you must die here today. Shrugging his shoulders, the more casual Qin Feng is, the more the man sees it, the more he feels that he is not paying for his life. Still, telling the truth, you weave an illusion, and it is impossible for you to not consume it. According to my speculation, there is actually a great connection between you and the illusion. When I broke through the illusion, you didn't suffer a little bit. Backlash? This is impossible. You've been injured a lot now, aren't you? At your peak, you're not necessarily my opponent. Now that you're injured, who gave you the courage and confidence to think you can still be my enemy? The man with the pointed mouth and monkey cheeks had a gloomy expression on his face. After a while, the man finally coughed. Awesome. The future generations are terrifying. I really underestimated you. When speaking, the corner of the man's mouth had blood flowing out, and his face was relatively pale. Obviously, Qin Feng's judgment is completely correct. Because Qin Feng broke through the illusion, the man's body has suffered a certain degree of backlash, and he is not at the peak state at all. Squinting his eyes slightly, the man said coldly, boy, what you said just now is good. Cleverness is mistaken by cleverness. Since you feel it, I may be impacted and affected by the rupture of the illusion, then you shouldn't talk nonsense with me just now. Just do it directly, now that you have given it. When I recover, you. Qin Feng interrupted the man with a smile. You are really pitiful. Ridiculous. No, don't you really think I like talking nonsense with you? When you are recovering, doesn't this also give me a time to recover? I've been trapped for a while, right? The body must be consumed, and now, it will naturally have no effect. The man's eyes widened instantly, and the next moment, he couldn't help breaking the defense. You. B************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* was not only angry, but also a little scared. I didn't expect Qin Feng's mind to be so meticulous. The man was full of murderous intent, and his eyes were extremely cold. Okay, the nonsense is over. I will now send you to see the Buddha. Boy, don't be mad, die for me. The moment the words fell, a very strange weapon appeared in the man's hand. It looked like a three-edged sword, with a cold breath. It struck Qin Feng like lightning. Qin Feng looked at the man coldly, but did not dodge, and similarly, did not mean to dodge. Boy, you will pay the price for your arrogance. The man was very angry, and felt that Qin Feng was too crazy. He didn't take himself seriously at all. The man who gritted his teeth shot with all his strength without any reservations. Seeing that the strange three-edged sword was about to stab Qin Feng in the throat point at this time, a golden light flickered around Qin Feng's body point. The sound of breaking the air followed, and Qin Feng already had a long trump card in his hand, which was the trump card rewarded by the system at the beginning point. With a very calm expression, Qin Feng flipped his wrist, and the mace of the soul opened vertically and horizontally. The tyrannical strength and the strength of the peak gave people a feeling of B*********G. Break. Exhale. Like a thunderbolt exploded from the blue point. Said it was too late, but it was soon. Qin Feng's trump card accurately focused on the strange three-edged sword in the man's hand. Boom. The strong collision caused a huge impact of strength, and the two obviously had to decide whether to win or lose, and life or death. Chapter 145. Put the heart into the stomach. Qin Feng hit the trump card in his hand and burst out with unparalleled strength. Before the man could react, the three-edged sword in his hand made a crisp click cracking sound. His eyes widened suddenly. To be honest, the man really didn't expect to be like this. He had already sensed the approaching crisis, and his body quickly retreated. Dressed in black, his stature is relatively short, and his speed is so fast that in the blink of an eye, the man will disappear into the darkness. Qin Feng's people move forward with the trump card. It seems that it is not only fast, but also smooth. You're here and want to leave. The piercing sound of the soul mace was extremely mournful, and it slammed over. The man with the sharp-mouthed monkey gills tried his best to dodge, but unfortunately, there was no time to react. Boom. Hit the center of the man's chest. Crack. There was an agonizing sound of bone shattering. PFFT. Blood spurted wildly. The man's body fell heavily. His face was extremely pale, and he felt the strength in his body began to collapse like a tide. Qin Feng did not continue to attack, knowing that the man first encountered a backlash because the illusion was broken, and then he was hit by a trump card, and there was no chance of survival. Looking at Qin Feng viciously, the man's voice became a little hoarse. You don't have to be complacent. Soon, someone will avenge me. You will die. All of you will die. The man wanted to say something else, but unfortunately, his breath had become extremely weak. He spit out a mouthful of blood again, and died of breathlessness. Strange things happened at this moment. Just like the alien beast fox killed by Qin Feng at the beginning, the man's body was also shrinking and changing, and soon, it also became a weird alien beast corpse. It looks a bit like a weasel, but the death looks even more miserable. Qin Feng frowned. Now, he is not completely sure whether this is an illusion in the vortex of the sea of clouds. Before the alien beasts died, they became humanoids, or these alien creatures with thinking and wisdom comparable to humans. It has the ability to become a humanoid. The system had reminded Qin Feng that all kinds of monsters had invaded. At that time, all kinds of weird things could happen. Looking at it now, all the weird incidents are just the beginning. Taking a breath, Qin Feng calmed down and kept on guard to prevent danger from happening again or falling into an illusion. Continuing to move forward, Qin Feng felt Yan Xiao's breath when he was fighting fiercely with the man. At this time, it was getting closer and closer. After about 20 to 30 meters, Qin Feng, with his high eyesight, saw Yan Xiao lying there. When the moment came to the front, Qin Feng breathed a sigh of relief. At least, Yan Xiao still had a breath at this time, but it was relatively weak. Qin Feng held Yan Xiao in his arms and shook it. Yan Xiao, Yan Xiao. After 2 consecutive calls, Yan Xiao just frowned, but there was no other reaction. Taking a deep breath, Qin Feng adjusted his breath, like a spring thunder on his tongue. Yan Xiao. The voice is extremely penetrating. This time, Yan Xiao's eyes finally moved. After a while, Yan Xiao opened her eyes, but there was still a dazed look in her originally beautiful eyes. Yan Xiao, it's me, Qin Feng. The voice was calm, and it contained spiritual energy. Yan Xiao finally saw Qin Feng clearly. Her expression was full of joy, and there was still some relief. Am I not dreaming? Of course not. It seems that the Buddha did not lie to me and can really save you. In this way, even if I die, I'm willing. Qin Feng was stunned for a moment and then reacted. It was obvious that Yan Xiao was in an illusion. Even after the man with the pointed mouth, or the demon, died, it still had an impact. The meaning in obedience, in the illusion, should be to exchange Yan Xiao's own life for Qin Feng's life. At the moment of seeing Qin Feng, Yan Xiao did not have any fear, but a kind of joy. To be honest, Qin Feng's heart was also very moved. Fool, we won't die, I'll take you back. Qin Feng picked up Yan Xiao and pulled back. After the man with the sharp-mouthed monkey gills was killed, there was still a lot of pressure in the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, but it was a little less weird. Qin Feng wants to check it out, but he is not sure yet how long he has been in the vortex of the Sea of Clouds. Maybe other immortal cultivators from the Qin family are already waiting anxiously. There was Yan Xiao by his side, and he took him to take a risk to check, which was a little inappropriate. After deciding to leave, Qin Feng was very fast, even if he was holding Yan Xiao, and he was still on alert throughout the whole process, to prevent other dangers from appearing. At this time, in Dukou village, in the competition arena, everyone's faces were very anxious and solemn. Qin Wen kept walking around, muttering in his mouth, "Why is there no news? Why is there no news?" Wu Hua's face was even more ugly. No one knew better than him the importance of Qin Feng to Huaxia. If something really happened, Wu Hua would feel the real despair. Qin Yan walked to Qin Zu's side and said, "Sister Zhu, you can't wait any longer. I know your worries and considerations, but if something happens to Brother Feng, what's the point of us just guaranteeing safety temporarily? The defense of Huaxia Kyoto is extremely dangerous. Without Brother Feng, we would have died there long ago. We all know in our hearts that the previous clansman can have no one of us in the class, but we can't live without Brother Feng." Qin Feng clenched his fist with his left hand and thumped the palm of his right hand. "That's right, we can't wait like this. Even if we die, we have to die together. We must go to Brother Feng." Qin Zu frowned. In fact, as Qin Feng's sister, she was even more worried, but now she has gradually lost her patience to wait. Before sunset today, if the bully hasn't returned, then nothing will matter. I'll be the first to take you to the vortex of the Sea of Clouds. Okay. Qin Ya responded with some surprise. She really had had enough. Qin Wen frowned and blurted out, "Sister Zhu, Brother Feng and Yan Xiao have been missing for 3 days. What do we have to do before sunset? Let's go directly." At this moment, a familiar voice sounded, "So I've been there for 3 days. Qin Wen, it seems that you're still the same, and you've been ignoring me." Qin Wen was stunned, and followed. Everyone present looked up subconsciously. The next moment, cheers came out of the mouth involuntarily. "Brother Feng is back. Sect Master is back. God bless. The Sect Master returned safely." Some clansmen even cried with joy. At this moment, at least everyone's hearts fell into their stomachs. Chapter 146. The situation is not optimistic. Wu Hua was extremely excited and hurried up to meet him. "Thank goodness, Sect Master Qin, you are finally back safely. Is Miss Yan okay?" Yan Xiao, who was in the illusion, consumed a lot of money. At this time, although he was rescued by Qin Feng, the whole person was already in a coma. Qin Xiaochuan was even more worried. "Sect Master, Sister Yao, how is it?" The child knows gratitude very well, and understands in his heart that Yan Xiao is in danger just to save him. "It doesn't matter, it's not a big problem, just rest and rest will be fine." Everyone breathed a sigh of relief again. Qin Feng and Yan Xiao were fine, so what could be more gratifying than this? Qin Wen asked curiously, "Sect Master, what is in the vortex of the Sea of Clouds?" The Qin family had already discovered that, even if Qin Feng returned safely, the vortex of the Sea of Clouds in the sky did not dissipate, and it still covered the sky above Dukou village. "I can't say a word or two. There shouldn't be too much danger for the time being. You can leave the arena and return to your normal life. However, you can think of the vortex of the Sea of Clouds in the sky as a handle hanging over our heads. The sword on the sword will not necessarily fall down one day, and it is extremely dangerous, so you don't need to say more. You all know what to do, right?" The Qin family members all looked awe-inspiring, and nodded one after another. "Understand, we must do our best to improve our strength as soon as possible. If we are strong enough, we don't have to trouble the Sect Master to travel all the way to Kyoto to support us." Then, there will be no danger in the village and Miss Yan will be safe. The alien beasts in the sky above Kyoto are getting more and more powerful, especially the strange ape, who can speak words, and it is impossible to say that more strange things will happen in the future. If we are not strong enough, we can't count on the sect master to turn the tide every time. In that case, something will happen sooner or later. Yes, you need to be hard on yourself. Sect master, don't worry, we will continue to improve our strength. Qin Feng was somewhat relieved to see that the clan could understand his thoughts. Since everyone understands, I won't say more. I haven't come back these days. You must be very nervous and tired. Let's go and rest. Yes, sect master. For the past 3 days, everyone was really worried, and at this time, they really felt tired, and they were all ready to leave. Kinzu took Yan Xiao from Qin Feng and said, you also need to rest more. Just leave Yao to take care of me. When speaking, Kinzu looked very distressed. As long as he was not a fool, he would definitely be able to think that Qin Feng's experience in the past 3 days was definitely not easy. Qin Feng looked at Wu Hua and said, Mr. Wu, I think you've always wanted to say something. Wu Hua looked a little embarrassed, and finally said, sure enough, I can't hide anything from Sect Master Qin's eyes. Seeing that you are too tired, I didn't want to say anything. Or, Sect Master Qin, would you like to rest first? Waving his hand, Qin Feng smiled. No, I feel fine, just say something. Yesterday, someone came to Kyoto, and several injured immortals from the Qin family also specially sent a special plane to send them here, but they never dared to approach the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, and they are still outside the village. Wu Hua looked at Qin Feng's face, afraid of causing any misunderstanding, and quickly explained, Sect Master Qin, although the hospital in Kyoto has mobilized the best team of experts, there is still no way to do it. In desperation, they can only escort a few injured warriors back, thinking that since they can refine medicine pills, they may be able to help them. So, Qin Feng waved his hand and nodded. I understand. Now, they can come to the village. Okay, I'll make arrangements. Not long after, several injured and poisoned Qin family members were sent to the village. Qin Haoxu and others, who were injured, have almost recovered. After becoming immortal cultivators, their healing ability is very strong and very strong. However, Qin Yu and the other 3 were stung by a strange poisonous bee. Now, the person has fallen into a coma, relying on the spiritual energy in his body to protect his heart, and has not lost his life. After Qin Feng checked the pulse, his expression became a little dignified. Wu Hua and another middle-aged man accompanied Qin Feng the whole time. After Qin Feng finished reading it, he came up, and Wu Hua first said, Sect Master Qin, are the warriors alright? It's hard to say for now, the toxin is too weird, I have to think of a way. The middle-aged man with the Chinese character face next to him said, Sect Master Qin, the warriors of the Qin family were seriously injured to protect the capital and Huaxia. If you need help with anything, you can speak up at any time, and the country will definitely not sit back and watch. Otherwise, it will be too cold for the warriors. Heart. Obviously, the man with the national character face also came on behalf of the relevant departments of the country, and when he spoke, he was very sincere. After Qin Feng pondered, he spoke slowly, I can't help you for the time being. If I need it later, I will speak. By the way, what's your name? The man with the national character face was very aggressive and said, my sire Wang Ligang. Sect Master Qin may not have noticed me, but I know you. At that time in Huaxia capital, I saw Sect Master Qin showing off his skills, and I admired it very much. This time, I came to visit specially on behalf of the country, on behalf of everyone in Huaxia capital. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to Sect Master Qin and the warriors of the Qin family. No need to say polite words. My Qin family is also from China. Those things are what we should do. I think Mr. Wang is here not only to express his gratitude, right? Wang Ligang looked a little hesitant. At this time, Wu Hua said, Brother Wang, just say it straight. Sect Master Qin doesn't like people who are beating around the bush. Wang Ligang nodded. Okay, since that's the case, I'll tell you, if I have something to say. Sect Master Qin, your performance in Huaxia Kyoto can be called a battle of conferred gods. Now, not only do we all praise you in China, but at that time, there were many foreigners. People are watching that fight. After seeing the performance of you and the immortals of the Qin family, they are very envious. Of course, there are also some countries that have contacted us through various channels, hoping to get the support of our China and eliminate the alien beasts in their countries. Of course, at the end of the day, Sect Master Qin still needs you to make up your mind, so I was sent to ask Sect Master Qin for your opinion. Qin Feng's expression remained unchanged, and he couldn't say that he was dissatisfied, but for the time being, he really didn't have any thoughts in that regard. The huge vortex of the Sea of Clouds is still hovering over the village, and some members of the Qin family are injured and unconscious. Qin Feng was about to refuse, but unexpectedly, at this time, something unexpected happened. Chapter 147 Publishing the Task. Without warning, Qin Feng heard the system's voice in his mind. Ding. It is detected that the host is facing a choice, and now mission is released to help countries in disaster and eliminate alien beasts. Qin Feng still didn't speak. He was still waiting. Under normal circumstances, after the system has released the task, there will be related task rewards. Sure enough, the system's voice sounded again. In the process of the host completing the task, from various countries, the mobile phones I and Jin will have the opportunity to continue to improve the Imperial soldiers, and there is a certain probability to obtain the new Imperial soldiers. Qin Feng understood in an instant. It seems that there are also immortal gold in various countries, but they have not been discovered yet. In the process of eliminating alien beasts, there is a chance to find them. After all, it is a matter of Imperial soldiers. Then Qin Feng had to think more. Originally, Qin Feng would have to face alien beasts from other countries sooner or later in the final analysis. It was a common disaster for all mankind. It was completely unreasonable to sit on the sidelines. However, now that the system intervenes, the process has been advanced to a certain extent. After thinking about it, Qin Feng didn't hesitate any longer and said, "We can talk about it. If there is a suitable opportunity later, my clansmen and I will not allow those alien beasts to rage wildly. However, it is not yet possible. Dukao village may be in danger at any time, and I have to think about it. The way to save those brothers who are poisoned." Wang Ligon breathed a sigh of relief, and his expression was a little happy. Sect Master Qin is good to have this idea. Originally, it was in the process of negotiation. Some details need to be improved. When the results of the negotiation are obtained later, I will inform Sect Master Qin. At that time, it is up to you to decide. And when should I help? Other countries come to ask for help, and Huaxia agrees, and it is impossible to do it in vain. There must be some interests involved, and it is necessary to constantly see and negotiate. Of course, if you are worried about Sect Master Qin, you can personally participate in the negotiation with representatives of various countries. If you are busy, you can also send clansmen to participate in this matter. Qin Feng waved his hand. It is not necessary. I believe that the country will make the most accurate judgment. I just need to wait for the result. Sect Master Qin, you are really splendid. I don't even know what to say. I want to express my gratitude to you not only on behalf of our country, but also on behalf of the people of the world. There is no need to say more beautiful words. Now, the crisis has not been resolved. The further back, the crisis may be even greater. We should do more practical things, so that the harm caused by the disaster can be minimized. Hearing Qin Feng's words, Wang Ligang was even more awe-inspiring. Sect Master Qin is right. You can rest assured that the relevant suggestions you put forward have been actively coordinated by the relevant state departments. To tell you the truth, some people have been found and can sense the changes in spiritual energy. Of course, we are still continuing to track and investigate and strive to select the most talented talents to accept the guidance of Qin Sect Master or other immortals of the Qin family. I told Wu Hua about this a long time ago, and Qin Feng also agreed to it. If there is nothing else, I will go to work first. Sect Master Qin, please do it yourself. Neither Wang Ligang nor Wu Hua dared to disturb Qin Feng. After returning to the room, Qin Feng took the initiative to ask the system, is there any way to detoxify the poisonous bees? Fortunately, there was no ventilation in the system, or arrogantly ignored Qin Feng and replied directly, "Ding, I'm searching for answers." After a while, the voice sounded again, "Ding, after the search, there is no direct way to remove the toxin. However, between heaven and earth, all things are mutually reinforcing, and where the poisonous bee exists, there will definitely be a way to restrain the poisonous bee toxin." Qin Feng was very helpless and a little dissatisfied. "Are you sure you're not kidding me? The poisonous bee is in the void. What can I find in the void? Can you give me a reward for playing with you? Please keep your mind clear. The place where the poisonous bees exist refers to the place where normal poisonous bees live, not the void." Although he was obviously despised by the system, Qin Feng was not annoyed and vaguely understood. "Oh, you mean poisonous bees normally live in the forests, so in some forests, may they find a way to restrain the poisonous bees? Not too stupid." The system was about to become arrogant. Since Qin Feng had a direction for the time being, he was too lazy to fight against a broken system. Before he could breathe a relief and take a rest, Qin Wen hurried sigh from outside. Brother Feng, I can hear you. You say something directly. Don't be like a soul." "Ah. That, Sister Zhu asked me to call you and say that Miss Yan is awake. If you have nothing else to do, come over now." Qin Feng stood up and walked outside. "I see." Soon, Qin Feng arrived at the place where Yan Xiao was resting. Qin Zhu had been there all the time, and Yan Xiao had woken up as expected. "Is something wrong?" Qin Feng asked, a little puzzled. After seeing Qin Feng, Yan Xiao was obviously relieved. Qin Zhu explained, "I don't know what happened in the vortex of the distant sea, but after Yao woke up, she always wondered if there was something wrong with you. How could I explain it? She didn't seem to believe it, so she called come here." Qin Feng understood. Yan Xiao estimated that, because of the influence of the illusion, after thinking that she was safe, there might be some danger on Qin Feng's side. The voice softened. "I'm not here. I'm really fine. The things you have experienced are all illusions that were deliberately made up. Don't be too affected." Yan Xiao's pretty face was slightly stunned. Qin Zhu asked in confusion, "What is an illusion created by something deliberately? What have you experienced in the past 2 or 3 days?" "Yes, it almost killed us at that time." Qin Wen was also full of curiosity. Qin Feng thought about it for a while, but did not hide it. He said, "In general, what would happen? After listening to this, the expressions on your faces are very surprised. This is bizarre. If Brother Feng hadn't said it himself, I couldn't believe it. Are those things so refined? Or is it someone who is pretending to be false?" Qin Feng looked calm and said slowly, "It's hard to say right now. You just need to remember that next time you encounter a similar situation, pay more attention." Yan Xiao finally felt relieved now. When Qin Feng was still talking, the phone rang. After taking a look, the expression on Qin Feng's face was unusually complicated, and he couldn't help but think, how is this possible? Is it wrong? How could she call me? Chapter 148, Brother Emma Guoji. Qin Feng hesitated for a while, then finally stood up and said, "I'll go take a call." Yan Xiao smiled and said, "I'm fine. If you have something to do, just go straight to it." Qin Feng nodded and went out to answer the phone. Qin Wen, a curious baby, was born outspoken and blurted out, "It's just a phone call. Why is it mysterious? Brother Feng rarely looks like this. You talk too much. Didn't you say that you should seize all the time and try to improve your strength? Hurry up and do your job. Don't make trouble here." Qin Zhu glared at Qin Wen as she spoke. Qin Wen's face was full of grievances, and while walking out, he said, "I'll just leave, but I'm not wrong. Brother Feng is just a little abnormal, okay?" Qin Zhu can't wait to go up and kid Qin Wen. "Are you smart? Others can't tell, right? But, at least in front of Yan Xiao, it's hard to say much about it. Yan Xiao is smart. She has long felt that something is wrong, but Qin Zhu didn't want to say more, so she didn't ask, just said with a smile, "Sister Zhu, I'm really fine. If you have something to do, just go and do it." "What can I do? You just woke up now, so I have to accompany you." Otherwise, my parents should blame me, but you all know that my parents like you very much. Logically speaking, that stinky boy Qin Feng should come to accompany you, but you also understand that he is too busy now, so don't bother with him, Yan. Xiao's pretty face turned slightly red. No, I know Qin Feng is very busy, just understand. If you want something to eat, I'll ask my mother to make it for you. I'm not hungry yet, Qin. Zhu frowned slightly. How can I do it? It's been 3 days, and I must have eaten something well. My mother has prepared it. She takes you as her future daughter-in-law. She really wants to starve you, so don't feel bad. Sister Zhu, stop joking with me. Yan Xiao's pretty face turned even redder, and her shy expression complemented her incomparably charming appearance, which was even more beautiful. Haha, it's not a joke, I'm telling the truth. You rest first, I'll see how the food is going. Qinzu left the room with a smile, and when she got outside the door, she found that Qin Feng had already answered the phone. Who called? Qin Feng pondered and said, a friend. What's the matter? Qinzu asked to the end, as if to break the casserole. It's nothing, humph. Qin Feng, you are not being honest. Outside, you are the suzerain. You are right. Even if you are wrong, I will not say anything more. But at home, I will always be your sister. Sister, I can't hold a knife, or are you floating? Even I hide it. Qin Feng looked helpless. Sister, I'm in my 30s. You don't need to treat me like a child. You have to ask everything to the end, right? I don't have to ask about other things, but I have to ask about this matter. Do you think I don't know? The person who called you was your first love girlfriend Yu Yuan. Qin Feng fell silent, looking somewhat embarrassed. If you don't say it, you will acquiesce. Qin Feng, you are different now. You have taken action in Heidao City and Kyoto City one after another. The whole reputation is resounding throughout China. What other thoughts do some people have? But don't forget Yu Yuan and her family, how they treated you back then. If you still have anything to do with that woman, I really look down on you. If you are sorry for Yan Xiao because of that woman, I won't let you go. Qin Feng smiled bitterly and sighed. Sister, where did you go? I won't have anything to do with Yu Yuan. As for me and Yan Xiao, it's not what you think. Yo, do you have such a high vision? Although I didn't say it in detail, I understood it in general. In the illusion, Yao would rather take her life for yours, and dare to take her life for a girl who is good to you. Where can I find it? Don't float too hard. Qin Feng said helplessly. Didn't I say, the end is coming? Stop talking nonsense. The end of the day is one thing. You're a single dog, that's another. You can't kill all the alien beasts in your life, so you'll be a single dog all your life. What's the matter? Qin Feng blurted out. Sister, you keep talking about me, but aren't you a single dog too? I'm a single aristocrat. You dare to call me a dog? Why don't you fight? Qinzu really did it, and twisted Qin Feng twice. Qin Feng grinned in pain. Okay, I'm wrong. Okay, I'm a single dog, and you are a single aristocrat. Qinzu snorted coldly, and raised her arrogant chin. It's not too bad. Tell me, what did that woman want to do when she called you? Wouldn't it be to ask you to meet as Qin Feng's sister? Qinzu can't know everything. When Qin Feng was in college in Los Angeles, he had a first love, but after becoming a teacher, because of his first love, his girlfriend's family disliked Qin Feng's origin, and there was no way solution and end point at the beginning. Qin Feng suffered a lot of blows. It's been so many years, and I can still contact him again. Qin Feng thought about it, and didn't hide it. She said she wanted to meet, apologized to me, and needed my help with something else. You won't agree, will you? Qin Feng hesitated. I didn't agree. That I didn't refuse for the time being. Qinzu's face was very I don't know you yet. I still want to see you. If I don't agree, I don't need to apologize or something. I stabbed someone, and the blood here is not wiped clean. Besides, what's the use of apologizing? You owe her, and you still want it. You help dye this heart. Let her go. If you're embarrassed to say it, bring me the phone and I'll tell her in person to see if she dares to call you again. Qin Feng was a little helpless and sighed. Sister, I'll handle this matter myself. Don't worry, it's been so many years, and there won't be any of the things you think. Besides, they may be the boss of the family. We are still friends. When it's difficult, if I can help, I still have to help. You can pull it down. She has a child? That's not good for you. Buy one get one free. Qin Feng almost vomited blood. If the old sister's mouth became poisonous, her words would be too ugly. I don't want to see her alone. You know, Kinu's injuries are very serious. I was planning to go out recently. I have to find some medicinal materials to remove the toxins from their bodies as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will not only endanger their lives, but also affect their strength over time. I have something to do, so naturally I won't be too involved in other things. Kinzu frowned and finally sighed. I figured it out. It's impossible to stop you no matter what, but you can remember it for me. If you dare to do anything against Yao, I will definitely kill your relatives, and kill you little b*********. D. Chapter 149. I just want to help you. Qin Feng was very helpless. Looking at the whole world, he dared to talk to himself like this now. I guess he couldn't find anyone other than the old sister Kinzu. Even parents, because Qin Feng is not too young, and because of different identities, it is impossible to shout to kill you b******** D every day. But Kinzu is not scruples. Qin Feng has nothing to do. Okay, all I have to say is over. You go and accompany Yao. I'll go and see how mom's cooking is going. I see. Qin Feng returned to the room and found that he had already packed up and sat there. Why don't you lie down for a while? I have nothing to do. Besides, although I'm weak, I'm also an immortal cultivator, and I'm not too weak. When Yan Xiao spoke, she smiled, and her appearance was extraordinarily charming. If you have something to do, go to work. I'm really fine. I have nothing else to do for now. After the two finished speaking, there was a bit of silence. The problem is, there are a lot of things that have happened, and there is some ambiguity between the two of them, but some words have not been made clear, and when they are alone, they seem a little embarrassed. After a while, Yan Xiao took the initiative and said, are you worried that something more dangerous will happen in the future? Of course there will be concerns in this regard, but I will not be too entangled in things that have not happened. Instead of worrying, it is better to work hard to be yourself and strive to prevent those who care from being hurt when the crisis comes. Yan Xiao tilted her head slightly, looking even more charming and cute. It's a good idea, just don't put too much pressure on yourself. I know. Qin Feng smiled and continued, it's not too long for you to come to Dukao village. Will your family worry about you? I'm going to go out in the next 2 days to find something. Do you want to send you back for a few days? Yan Xiao was stunned, her expression a little unnatural. Am I here to cause you trouble? Then I'm sorry. Qin Feng quickly waved his hand. No, don't get me wrong. I'm just worried that you miss your family. If you're willing to live here, it doesn't matter how long you live. Yan Xiao breathed a sigh of relief. My family and I often make phone calls, videos, etc., and I can't say that I miss them too much. Besides, they think that I stay in Dukao village, which is the safest place, but they are not in a hurry to go back. Qin Feng nodded, knowing that Yan Xiao was telling the truth. Now all of China, because of Qin Feng and the Qin family's immortal cultivators, feel that Dukao village is the safest place. If Wu Hua had arranged for someone to guard the outside, I don't know how many people would want to move directly into Dukao village. The vortex of the sea of clouds in the sky has no meaning to dissipate for the time being. I have to go out in 2 days. It is not absolutely safe. You stay in the village and pay more attention to safety. After the vortex of the sea of clouds dissipates, if your family does not mind, if so, you can come to Dukao village to live for a while. Yan Xiao's beautiful eyes lit up a little. Is it really possible? My family must be very happy when they know. Of course, what I said won't lie to you. Then, I'll thank you first. There's something I've always wanted to ask you. Is it convenient or not? Qin Feng is a little helpless. I don't know what you want to ask, how to judge whether it is convenient or not. His face remained unchanged, and he replied, "Just ask if you have anything. My talent is average, so my strength increases very slowly. I wonder if you have a way to increase my strength quickly?" Qin Yan also asked this question at the beginning, but Qin Feng didn't think much about it, thinking that Yan Xiao simply wanted to become stronger. There is a method, but there is a certain danger, so I can't try it easily for the time being. When I'm done with this period of time, I'll try it first, and I'll tell you when the time comes. Oh, okay. Seeing Yan Xiao's pretty face full of disappointment, Qin Feng smiled and comforted. "You don't have to worry too much, and don't belittle yourself. In fact, your talent is not bad, but the time to become an immortal cultivator is still short. In the future, there will definitely be greater improvement. In Dukao village, it is relatively safe. You can rest assured. Gradually increase your strength. I have been working hard, just thinking that if I can improve my strength quickly, then I can help you. Every time I have an accident, I will always become a burden and drag you back." Qin Feng really didn't expect Yan Xiao's purpose to improve his strength. "If you insist that you are not moved, it must be a lie." After pondering for a while, Qin Feng said slowly, "I never thought you were a burden, and I have to thank you for this matter. If it wasn't for your help, it would have been Xiaochen. He has a very good talent for refining medicine pills. Maybe he will grow up. When he grows up, will surpass me. It's just that he is not an immortal cultivator. If he falls into the vortex of the Sea of Clouds, he will surely die. If you save him, it means that you have helped Dukao village and me a lot." Yan Xiao smiled, looking bright and sunny. "I'm glad I can help you a little bit. However, you must pay attention to your own safety next time. Understand?" Yan Xiao nodded. The county was warm. Her eyes were bright, very beautiful, and her delicate red lips made people feel like they couldn't help but want to kiss her. Qin Feng remembered that when they were in Changbei Mountain, the two almost lost their minds and felt a little strange. The voice of her sister's diligent study sounded, "Okay, the meal is ready, let's go eat." "Okay." Qin Feng responded, and couldn't help complaining that the old lady complained that she was a single dog all day long, but she didn't know at all that she also had a great responsibility for the reason why she was single. "If you don't come early, don't come late. What are you doing here at this time?" The two didn't say anything more. They went to eat. Yan Xiao went to rest, and Qin Feng had other things to do. After arranging the affairs in the village, Qin Feng plans to go out tomorrow. The injury of Qin Yu and others, the longer it is delayed, the worse it will be. Moreover, when the work here is finished, there are also tasks released by the system. The most important thing is that the vortex of the Sea of Clouds is still like a knife hanging from the top of the head. No knowing when it will fall. Qin Feng has a sense of urgency in whatever he does. In the evening, Qin Feng fell asleep very early. He stayed in the hallucination for 3 days and was somewhat exhausted. Moreover, to keep his spirits up, he had to go to Los Angeles tomorrow. After all, he and Yi Yuan have not seen each other for nearly 10 years. Thinking of meeting again tomorrow, Qin Feng's heart is still somewhat strange. Although Sister Qinzu is very opposed, Qin Feng has his own reasons for having to meet. Chapter 150. Long time no see. Qin Feng and Yu Yuan were college classmates. At that time, Yu Yuan was a school beautiful existence. Because of the student union, the two had an intersection and slowly came together, which attracted many people's envy, jealousy, and hatred. Later, when he started to work, Qin Feng learned that Yu Yuan's family is not ordinary and has a huge family business in Los Angeles. In terms of supermarket retail, it is almost a leading existence. The exaggeration is that Yu Yuan and Qin Feng went shopping once, went to a supermarket, and chose clothes at will. When it came time to pay, Qin Feng felt that the money was not enough. As a result, he didn't ask for money at all. In Yu Yuan's words, then it was the dowry prepared by her father. Qin Feng felt somewhat inferior, but Yu Yuan had a good personality and never disliked anything. It's a pity that the relationship between the two was eventually known to Yu Yuan's family, and they would definitely disagree. Only Yu Yuan insisted. Later, there was a rich second generation who started a crazy pursuit of Yu Yuan. Moreover, the two were still friends, so Qin Feng did not have the advantage. That kid approached Qin Feng several times and proudly showed his life circle and status. Although I didn't say much about the others, the meaning was obvious. Qin Feng and Yu Yuan were not from the same world at all. Qin Feng's mind was too sensitive at that time, and he felt that he was indeed unworthy of Yu Yuan, and he was a little withdrawn, but Yu Yuan still insisted. Later, the system in Qin Feng's body awakened and predicted the end of the world. It was completely regarded as lunatic existence. Of course, Yu Yuan didn't believe it, thinking that Qin Feng was under too much pressure and became a little stunned. He repeatedly persuaded Qin Feng to stop thinking about it, until Qin Feng still insisted. He was expelled from the school and even lost his job. At that time, Yu Yuan finally gave up on Qin Feng and said goodbye, and the two eventually drifted apart. Strictly speaking, both of them are right, and it seems that both are wrong. If Qin Feng persisted and explained to Yu Yuan patiently, there might still be a chance between the two, but unfortunately, things in the world are in the past after all. There is no turning back, and there is no regret medicine to buy. On the phone call not long ago, Yu Yuan asked to meet again and again, saying that Qin Feng could help with something. After thinking about it, how could Qin Feng refuse? Since becoming a cultivator, Qin Feng has rarely slept well at night. Early the next morning, Qin Feng hurried to Luo City, after arranging everything in the village. After thinking about it, Qin Feng deliberately changed his appearance without much trouble. After becoming an immortal cultivator, he can stimulate some acupuncture points in the body to cause certain changes in appearance. This principle is equivalent to the fact that some people sleep too much for several days, their spirits are sluggish, their eyelids are swollen, and Han Six's people look like they have changed their appearance. The change of appearance is also to avoid unnecessary troubles. Don't forget, Qin Feng is already famous throughout China. Luo City is his home city. If Qin Feng is found, it is estimated that he will be surrounded by people every minute. Feng was not used to being viewed as a rare animal. There is no such thing as flying in the wind. Qin Feng seems to be taking a break from his busy schedule, feeling the time when he was in college, and took the car all the way to Los Angeles. According to the time agreed by the two, Qin Feng arrived at the Fulau Hotel in Los Angeles. The name sounds a bit tacky, but it's a decades-old restaurant. If you don't make an appointment, you usually won't be entertained. Back then, when the two of they had part-off meals, Yu Yuan chose this place in the blink of an eye. After so many years, Qin Feng was outside the hotel again, and there was a faint feeling of being in a different world. At the entrance of the hotel, Yu Yuan, who was wearing a knee-length white dress and long hair in a shawl, was already standing there waiting. Time seems to favor this woman. Qin Feng is, because after becoming an immortal cultivator, his real appearance has not changed much, while Yu Yuan just looks more mature, but does not feel old, and her appearance is still amazing. While waiting there, many guests who came to eat couldn't help peeking, and the rate of return was high. The moment Qin Feng saw Yu Yuan, there was a momentary daze in his eyes, but he soon returned to normal, took a deep breath in silence, and walked forward. Yu Yuan looked at the watch on her wrist, frowned slightly, and looked towards the way she came. Her gaze stopped on the face of Qin Feng, who was walking over. Then she ignored it and continued to wait. Obviously, Yu Yuan did not recognize Qin Feng after changing her appearance. However, after a while, Yu Yuan looked at Qin Feng again with some doubts on her pretty face, and the hesitant look in her eyes grew a little more. After Qin Feng was a few minutes closer, Yu Yuan opened her mouth. Her surprised appearance was a little more cute out of thin air, and she was absolutely beautiful. You are Qin. Before he finished speaking, Qin Feng said, "It's me. You call me Wu Qin first." Yu Yuan was stunned for a moment, and immediately realized that Qin Feng's current identity was different. It seemed that he didn't want to be discovered by outsiders, so he chose a random name, based on his mother's surname. Nodding her head, Yu Yuan said, "Okay, then, let's call you that first, Wu Qin." After speaking, there was an awkward silence between the two. After a while, Yu Yuan said, "Haven't seen you for a long time." Qin Feng's mind flashed a song involuntarily. Of course, there was no emotional change on his face, and he nodded in response. "It's been a long time indeed." Just stop standing outside. Let's go. Let's sit down and talk inside. Qin Feng nodded and did not refuse. The two entered the hotel and were about to go to the private room that had been reserved in advance. At this moment, a woman's voice sounded. Yuan, why are you here? With the sound of the voice, a burst of scent wafted into the nostrils, and there was a woman in her 30s, dressed somewhat gorgeously, with exaggerated jewelry on her wrists, and an arrogant looking man beside her. The moment the man saw Yuan, a different kind of light flashed in his eyes, and he quickly covered it up. Yuan was a little surprised, and said with a smile, Qian, what a coincidence, you and your friends are here for dinner. Yes, this is Zhang Long. Does Tengfei Group know? It's his family. Zhang Long, this is my good friend, Yuan. Zhang Long quickly stretched out his hand and said in response, I heard for a long time that Miss Yi is a famous beauty in our Los Angeles city. When I see you today, Sansheng is lucky. Yuan didn't want to refuse. She shook hands politely and was about to pull it out, but she didn't pull it out. When she tried hard, frowning slightly, Yuan exerted force again. Unexpectedly, Zhang Long not only did not let go, but also hooked Yuan's palm with his fingers. The pretty Yuan's face changed instantly. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.